A weekend of delirium was topped off yesterday in Los Angeles. 8th inning, Houston leading 3-2. Steve Garvey at first, nobody out. Ron Say parks one into the left field pavilion to bring the Dodgers from behind. They led 4-3, held on to the 9th inning to beat Houston. Final score, Dodgers 4, Astros 3. After 162 regular season games, the teams wind up in a tie. Today, a one-game divisional playoff. And now we're live from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Look around. They have drawn better than 3.2 million with today's crowd, a sellout. A lot of people stayed here overnight, waited in line for the ticket windows to open this morning. A crowd of over 50,000 will look on. It's all at stake today in a one-game divisional playoff, the first since the National and American Leagues were split into divisions in 1969. There was one American League playoff in '78, Yankees-Boston, and today from Dodger Stadium, the Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers in the first ever in the National League. That's the way they finished, each with a mark of 92 and 70. The Dodgers won the season series 10 games to 8. And in the last 6 meetings between these two teams in Los Angeles, the Dodgers won all 6, including 3 this weekend. Before the leagues split into divisions, there were 4 playoffs. Look at the graphic, and it's interesting to note the Dodgers were involved in all of them, losing to the Cardinals in 1946. Then, of course, the Bobby Thompson home run in the '51 playoff as the Dodgers lost to the Giants. They beat Milwaukee in 2 straight in '59 and lost in 3 to San Francisco in 1962. And this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet and your Chevy dealer with Chevette, Monza, Citation, and the new Monte Carlo. Chevy's up ahead for 1981. By Pepsi-Cola and your local Pepsi-Cola bottler who invites you to catch that Pepsi spirit. And by Shell Fire and Ice Motor Oil, formulated to save gas. This is the only place to be today. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium, everybody. I'm Al Michaels. And when you think about it, you go back to the 1st of March. The Astros start spring training in Cocoa, Florida. The Dodgers start in Vero Beach, Florida. The season opens in April. They go 6 months, 162 games, wind up in a tie. And the tiebreaker, 1 game, which you might think is a bit of a capricious solution to a dilemma, but certainly it should provide for the highest of drama today. We should tell you at the outset, yesterday's hero, Ron Say, you might recall, fouled a pitch off his foot just prior to hitting a home run. The foot swelled up. Ron Say is not in the starting lineup today. Mickey Hatcher will replace him. Say is, however, available for pinch hitting duty. In a one-game playoff, of course, the paramount situation would be the pitchers. On the mound will be Joe Niekro for Houston. He's seeking his 20th win of the season. Dave Goltz, the high-priced free agent, will work for the Dodgers. He has had a spotty year. And so with Bob Uecker working with me today, Uecker, you would have to figure that on paper anyway, the Astros would have the best of it on the mound.
Well, I would have to agree with you, Al, but if there's going to be heat on any one person today, and I'm sure there's going to be heat on both these ball clubs, one person that I would have to single out is the catcher Alan Ashby for the Houston Astros with Phil Niekro, a knuckleballer, and he'll throw 70 to 75% knuckleballs with Dodger runners on base. It's going to be tough for Ashby if they run. Dodger runners in scoring position at third mainly. He's got to stay with Niekro's bread and butter pitch, and that's the knuckleball. He's got a good fastball and a slider to go along with it. 19 wins for the year, as Al just told you. He's 0-1, 7-9 lifetime against the Dodgers. On the other hand, Dave Goltz, 7-10 for the year, 0-2 against Houston. So all for the Marbles. If it's anything like yesterday, Al, I don't know if I can take it. One of the most exciting events that I've seen.
It's been an incredible weekend series. Ferguson's homer winning it on Friday. Garvey's homer was the difference on Saturday. Say's homer, the difference yesterday. Today, the National League West title at stake, the Astros and the Dodgers from Los Angeles. Weather-wise, it is a day much like yesterday. Temperatures in the 70s. It's quite smoggy in Los Angeles. Very comfortable, though. And the crowd settling in as the Dodgers will be taking the field very shortly. They came in with their backs to the wall on Friday, 3 back, swept the final regular season series of the year, and today the one-game playoff. Crowd rising now at Dodger Stadium in L.A. Tony Tennille approaching the mic in center field for our national anthem.
Of the great crowds here at Dodger Stadium the past 3 days. So I would like to ask all of you, the great baseball fans, to sing with me and sing with all of your heart our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Tony Tennille with our national anthem. A crowd of better than 50,000 at Los Angeles today. They're on their feet still. The rhythmic clapping beginning. We've seen it all weekend long. They used to call the Los Angeles crowd blasé and listless, and forget those definitions as the Dodgers take the field.
That's another fantastic day here, Al. The Dodgers pulling out all stops with Tony Tennille singing the national anthem. He's an all-time Dodger favorite and probably the biggest fan here in Los Angeles. I'm surprised Tommy Lasorda didn't have Frank Sinatra out there along with her. He's got them all going today.
The Dodgers hopeful of returning here for Game 3 of the playoffs on Friday. Steve Garvey, as we look around defensively, is at first base. Garvey again playing in every game this season. Davey Lopes with that pinched nerve in his neck, special brace under his shirt. At second base, the Dodgers shortstop is Darryl Thomas. He's been filling in since Bill Russell was injured in early September. And in third, as we told you, Ron Cey not in the lineup, available to pinch hit, so Mickey Hatcher gets the start to complete the Dodger infield. In the outfield for Los Angeles, there is Dusty Baker doing some house cleaning in left. A lot of people think he has been the most valuable Dodger this season. In center field, where Pedro Guerrero has been holding fourth, they go today with Rick Monday. Guerrero's had a lot of problems with his son the last 2 days, so the veteran Monday in the lineup in center. And around in right is Jay Johnstone, who made a scintillating play yesterday in the 9th inning as he dove into the seats to catch a foul fly. Back of the plate, the Dodgers down the stretch have been going with that man, Joe Ferguson, the veteran. And on the mound, Dave Goltz. In a sense, a chance to atone for, as you can see, not a very good season. 7-10, 4.29 ERA, though he has pitched decently of late, even though he has been the victim of non-support. There are further numbers for Goltz on the season, and a man that you saw quite a bit of when he pitched for the Minnesota Twins.
Well, he's basically a sinker slider ball type pitcher, Al. If I had to talk about a number one pitch for Dave Goltz, it would have to be a sinker. He's lost his last 3 decisions, had one no decision over his last 4 starts. But as you alluded to a moment ago, he has pitched well. He's 0-2 against Houston this year. Ken Force beat him by a score of 4-2. As you look at the Astros batting order, Poole, Cabell, Morgan, Cruz, Cedeno, Howe, Ashby, Reynolds, and Joe Niekro. The same lineup as manager Bill Verdon put on the field yesterday. I'm going to say, Al, Goltz' second start against Houston, a 7-4 loss.
So here we go. 1 game for the title. Terry Poole to lead things off. The pitch and a strike. 0-1. Again, we have Doug Harvey back of the plate. He umpired there yesterday. Nick Colosi at first. Paul Runge is at second. Jerry Dale is at third. Low. 1-1.
Al, I think a pretty good tribute to Doug Harvey. Normally that umpiring crew would move around. He would be at third base today. But as we talked yesterday, one of the finest ball and strike umpires in baseball.
Bouncing ball to the right side. Davey Lopes has to take a wicked hop. Can't find it. Now discovers it. And Terry Poole is aboard. That is something we have seen ever since Dodger Stadium opened. They resurfaced the infield this year, but you still have the wicked hop. So it should have been a routine out. Instead, Poole is aboard.
There's a sinking fastball by Goltz, hit on the ground. Here's that tough hop for Lopes. That ball came up on him as he went down to grab it. Davey having trouble locating it. And an error is charged to Lopes. So the Astros have the leadoff batter on in the first inning.
Terry Poole has good speed. Poole this season with 25 steals, and he's been caught 11 times. Enos Cabell had a terrible day yesterday as Goltz drives Poole back. Cabell struck out 3 times and made the error on Garvey as Goltz means business this time, but Poole gets back. He made the error on Garvey's ground ball prior to the home run by Say. Pitch out and nothing doing. 1-0 the count. The Astros, a team that scratches and claws its way to runs. They love to run. They have 6 players with 20 or more steals this season, including Poole at first base.
Pretty good indication, Al, on the first pitch to Cabell what the thinking is as far as catcher Joe Ferguson is concerned. Pitching out with Poole on, looking for something moving right away.
Goltz backing off the rubber. There goes Poole, and the 1-0 pitch is fouled away. So they start Terry right away, and Enos fouls it back. 1-1.
Al, you looked at that pitch from Goltz that time on Cabell. They have Hatcher playing up close at third for Cabell. And as I said at the top of the telecast, Goltz will basically try to stay in tight on right-handed batters. He'll pitch on your fists mostly throughout the course of a ball game. He's got a good slider and a curveball too, but as I said, if he has to get you out, he gets in a tough situation, he'll go to a good sinking fastball.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Again driving Poole back. The winner of this game gets to fly to Philadelphia. The National League Championship Series opening there tomorrow night. We'll have it for you on ABC at 8 o'clock. Steve Carlton ready to work for Philadelphia, so the Phillies can relax a bit today. The winner of this one, a little champagne and then an all-night flight. The 1-1 pitch is another pitch out, juggled by Ferguson, but Poole wasn't going, and the count is 2-1.
Not a bad idea, Al, talking about pitch outs with Ferguson calling that pitch out from Goltz. Goltz has got good control. Normally a good control type pitcher, you can fall behind in the count to a hitter with a pitcher like Goltz, who you have confidence in that he can come back and throw a strike for you. You might see that throughout the course of the afternoon. Close at first.
As Poole goes back in standing. Goltz, 31 years old, a native of Minnesota, still lives there. And again, it's close. So Goltz has gone over 5 times. A game with such importance as this normally goes along at a snail's pace, as did the game yesterday. So you can pretty much count on a game in excess of 3 hours.
You know, it goes both ways too, Al. You're talking about the pitcher making throws to first base. It also holds true for a catcher.
The 2-1 pitch is lined into right center field for a base hit. Poole round second, goes to third as Monday's throw comes into Thomas. So the Astros, on an error and a single, have runners at first and third and nobody out, and Joe Morgan coming up.
Not a bad pitch that time by Goltz. Cabell just went down and got it and punched it into right center field. My point being a moment ago, Al, that with the catchers, you look one more time, there's that sinking fastball by Goltz. Not a bad pitch at all, but Cabell went right down after it and drilled it into right center. I was going to say a catcher at times, Al, you hesitate once in a while. When you go down to put down a sign, you second-guess yourself every once in a while. That's, as you were talking a moment ago about the course of a ball game, taking maybe a little extra long when you're talking about a game of this magnitude anyway.
Joe Morgan at the plate with runners at first and third. The Dodger infield at double play depth. Morgan bothered by a bad knee. Joe has not had a good series here. 1-0. The Astros have been very tentative at the plate in the 3 games here. They have gotten no production from Morgan Cruz, and Cedeno. They're 3, 4, and 5 hitters. They're vital. Close at first as Cabell gets back. Enos can run. Cabell this season with 20 steals, but he's also been caught 12 times, which is not a very good ratio. 2-0 now on Morgan.
There's Goltz twice upstairs with breaking balls to Joe Morgan. His bread and butter, Al, is number one is a sinking fastball. There's Bill Verdon talking with Billy before the game today, Al. Very relaxed. He really was. And matter of fact, the whole Houston ball club, they did not come on the field yesterday until about a half hour before the game. They took infield today. They were out messing around, playing a little pepper.
Runner at third, Terry Poole. Enos Cabell at first. Nobody out, no score. Top of the first, and the Dodger bullpen getting busy already as Morgan checks his swing, but the pitch in there anyway for a strike. 2-1, and then Harvey says he did come around. He made the call himself. Did the plate umpire. 2-1. In the Dodger bullpen, Rick Sutcliffe. Up and throwing. Morgan fouls it back, and the count is 2-2. Of course, your bullpen on a day like today is simply everybody. There is Sutcliffe, who was a starter last year, had a great rookie year, but this year, a whole other story, as you can see by the numbers. And throwing back of Goltz in the first. Goltz, by the way, had to come out of his last start at Candlestick Park in San Francisco on Thursday with a pulled calf muscle. So he's working with 3 days rest. 2-2. But you're liable to see anybody today, and certainly yesterday. Same situation when Don Sutton made his first relief appearance in over 4 years to get the final out. 2-2 to Morgan is outside, 3-2. So a full count and nobody out. You would think that Cabell would be going on this pitch.
And, of course, you look at Joe Morgan, too, Al. He's only struck out 45 times this year. He's a good contact hitter. The runner at third is Poole, and at first base, Enos Cabell.
Goltz paying a lot of attention to Cabell. The count on Morgan full. They send the runner, and it's foul-tipped, and Ferguson can't hold it. So Morgan just barely stays alive, and Fergie can't hang on as Cabell retreats to first. Joe Ferguson, one of 3 Dodger catchers, and the man that they have gone to down the stretch. Steve Yeager and the rookie Mike Scioscia are the others. Again, Cabell goes. Morgan strikes out. The throw down to second, and they do not get him. Somehow Thomas misses the tag on what looked like a double play, and a big break for the Astros. Instead of 2 out, man at third, it's 1 out and second and third.
Big break is right, Al. The throw from Ferguson that time was high. You'll look at the jump by Cabell. Ferguson had plenty of time. As a matter of fact, he may have had too much time. You saw Cabell take a look at the plate. There's the high throw, and the tag is late. Here's Tommy Lasorda coming out now. One more look from a different angle as Cabell breaks for second, looking at the hitter. And the throw from Ferguson is high. The head first slide, and Thomas late with the tag. And Darryl Thomas may be hurt, Al.
Thomas is shaken up, and so is Cabell, so both trainers come out. The last thing the Dodgers need, of course, is another injury. Reggie Smith is gone for the year. Ronce is out of the lineup today. Russell's gone for the year. See another angle here.
There's the high throw, pulled down by Thomas. The head first slide by Cabell, and he's in. His lead hand appears to be on the bag as Thomas tumbles over the top of him, and Darryl may have jammed his shoulder slightly, Al, when he came down. Ferguson had plenty of time. He has a much slower release, Al, than Steve Yeager, who is the best thrower of the 3 Dodger catchers. But a big stolen base for Cabell, and we were talking about the fact that Morgan does not strike out that much, Al. That's the 46th time this year, and a good sinking fastball from Goltz.
So the runners are at second and third, and Jose Cruz, the batter. By the way, as you look at the numbers, today's game will count as far as individual statistics are concerned for the regular season. 1-0 1-0 the count. So that's why Joe Niekro, if he picks up the win today, would be a 20-game winner, have the benefit of the extra game. Infield back, except at third. The pitch is a strike, 1-1.
Boy, Goltz has got such a good moving sinker, Al. That ball, he may start it around the inside or the middle of the plate to a left-handed batter and have that ball run away to catch the outside. He's a tough guy to pull, but Cruz is that kind of a hitter. He likes to hit the ball to the opposite field.
Cruz is 1 for 13 in the 3 games here. Another strike, 1-2.
Oh, he's got a good one today.
Goltz trying to work out of a jam before a sun-baked crowd in L.A. No score, first inning. Runners at second and third. 1 out, and 1-2 the count on Jose Cruz. Bouncing ball to Hatcher, the runner coming home. The throw to Ferguson. They do not get him as Joe drops the ball. They had the out. Harvey was ready to signal out, and Poole coming in hard dislodges the ball from the mid of Ferguson. So the Astros lead 1-0 and have runners at first and third with only 1 out. Terry Poole literally stealing a run.
Well, the Astros, as they did yesterday, jumping out on top. Here it is again. The ball hit to third. Here's Hatcher now, and plenty of time, and Ferguson plenty of time for the tag. The hard slide by Poole, and you'll see the ball pop away from Ferguson, and the Astros lead. Here it is one more time. Hit toward the left side. Hatcher's got an easy play. You're looking right in on Ferguson. Great shot, and the ball popping away.
That is an error. Charge to Ferguson. It's interesting. Hatcher taking over for Say at third. You've got 2 ways to go with that ball. He decides to come home. You might think about also going 5-4-3 for the double play. Cedeno hits a little squibber. Lopes has to back up. A run will score. They get the out at first base, but Enos Cabell crosses the plate to make it 2-0. So 2 Dodger errors in the inning, and the Astros, as they did yesterday, drawing first blood here today.
First baseman, Art Howe.
2-0 Houston in the top of the first inning with 2 out now. Cruz is at second base. And Art Howe, the batter.
And the thing that led to 2 Dodger victories, Al, errors, one by Landis-Stoy in the opener, and yesterday by Cabell, preceding the home run by Say, has cost the Dodgers a couple of runs here in the Houston first inning.
Art Howe, dependable, the type of player that is steady and solid and versatile. 1-0 the count. Cruz at second. You tend to think in almost cliche terms in a game like this. Leonard Coppett, the great writer, formerly with the New York Times, now with the Peninsula Times Tribune up in Palo Alto, California, he said, "It's too bad we've wasted all of our greats and terrifics and tremendous. How else do we describe this?" Bouncing ball, great stop by Hatcher at third. The throw on a hop is too late, and Cruz moves to third. Mickey Hatcher at least saved a run, but the Astros still going here in the inning as Hatcher gets a hand.
Oh, what a play by Hatcher. Here it is again. Diving backhanded play. As Al said, he saved a run. He tries to make a play on Howe at first base late to throw to Garvey, but saving a run. May have been a blessing in disguise, Al, as this game goes on with Say not in the lineup today, nursing a hamstring and a bad foot. With Hatcher in there, that ball may have gotten by Say, leading to another Houston run.
And then again, like I say, though, you go back, does Say take Cruz's ball to second, or does he come home with it? You don't know. Ashby takes outside, ball 1. If they turn that into a 5-4-3 double play, the inning is over with no scoring. The count.
Here's the guy that's going to have his hands full today, too, Al. We talked about Alan Ashby at the top of the telecast handling Joe Niekro, a guy who is so very tough in the situations where you have runners at first, throw to first base by Goltz and a bit late. Runners at third especially. Al, having caught 3 knuckleball pitches, I know the kind of pressure it is. You got to stay with the bread and butter pitch, and it's the knuckleball for Niekro.
The 2-0 delivery is hit in the air to shallow left field. Dusty Baker shades down, has it for the out. But the Astros doing some damage initially as they pick up 2 runs, 2 hits. There were 2 errors and 2 left after a half. The Astros 2 and the Dodgers coming up. 2 unearned runs in the first inning. Houston ahead 2-0. Want to amend what I was considering to be a controversial play by Hatcher. Runners were at second and third there, not first and third, as Enos Cabell had stolen second base, so Mickey really only had 1 play. That was home. And they should have had him at home.
Easy play, Al. You're right.
Joe Ferguson couldn't hang on to the ball. Charged with the error. Of course, the inning started as you look at the Dodger batting order. Lopes, Johnstone, and right today, Baker, Garvey, Monday, and Ferguson batting 6th. Hatcher at 3rd, Thomas at short, and Dave Goltz pitching. But an interesting top of the first with Terry Poole reaching on the ball that Davey Lopes couldn't handle, the wicked hop. Ferguson having the ball removed from his glove. On the play at the plate, and Cedeno bouncing out as we look at the Astros defensively. The infield of Howe, Morgan, Reynolds, and Cabell. The outfield of Cruz, Cedeno, and Poole with Ashby back at the plate and Niekro on the mound.
I want to point out something here, Al, with Niekro in the first inning. Of course, his brother Phil, the great knuckleballing right-hander with the Atlanta Braves, they have 2 different type knuckleballs. Joel will throw his knuckleball a little harder. I don't think it has the break that Phil's does. It will break sharply, throws it hard, much tougher for the catcher. You know, you get beat up a little more with a guy like him, but basically a lot better fastball than his brother Phil. He can throw decent with a fastball. He's got a good slider, too.
Davey Lopes to lead off. Houston leading 2-0 in the first inning, and Lopes takes up and away. I love your line, the classic line about how do you catch a knuckleball?
Wait until it stops rolling and then just pick it up.
1-0 pitch to Lopes. Cabell over to first for the out. 1 away. So Enos Cabell taking care of the Dodger leadoff batter, and Jay Johnstone coming up, having a good year, batting .312 as they've been spotting Jay.
I'll tell you, he made one of the outstanding catches yesterday in this series, and probably for Johnstone for the year when he went in the right field seats to grab a fly ball from the bat of Jeff Leonard late in the game. And Johnstone said he's sick and tired of the bad rap as being a bad outfielder taken out in the late innings for defensive purposes.
Story in the paper this morning about a supposed shouting match between Johnstone and Lasorda preparatory to Jay going to the outfield as he looks in a strike in the 9th inning. Talked to Lasorda about that before the game. He said, nah. He said, look, he said, my best defensive right fielder is going to be in there regardless. He didn't talk me out of anything.
You catch Tommy Lasorda in a restaurant, he orders the same way. He shouts. I'll tell you, Al, there were so many big plays in that game yesterday. The home run by Say, but defensive plays, and just a great ball game yesterday in the whole series for that matter.
1-1 to Johnstone. Hit on the ground to Morgan. 2 down. Then quite a series. Tommy Lasorda. Of course, in a series of this magnitude, errors have played a key part. Sometimes it's difficult to remember where the runners are. Sometimes it's difficult for your play-by-play announcer to remember where the runners are.
Al, you know the funny thing, and this is the truth. Yesterday, sitting up here during that ball game, I tell you, you get so nervous. You get more nervous sitting up here. Down on the field, you don't ever think about things like that. You know, as a player in a big ball game, you don't really think about letting a ball go by or making a bad pitch or calling a bad pitch. But certainly sitting upstairs here, both of these clubs fighting and battling, you get tight up here.
Here's your prime example of a knuckleball. That's a strike and winds up going to the backstop.
You get a good shot of the knuckleball from center field. As I said, Niekro throws it a lot harder than his brother Phil, harder than most knuckleballers would. It will break a knuckleball from Phil Niekro, Al, if I can describe it. It's kind of hard to describe sometimes unless you can show it. It will dance 3 or 4 times different ways, but it has a much bigger break. This guy's is sharper, and he basically tries to stay downstairs.
0-2 the count on Dusty Baker. Missing away.
There's a beauty right there. Al, when you look in from center field, you'll be able to tell when Niekro goes to the knuckleball. Watch his glove open up. Watch this knuckleball break, folks. Oh, that's tough.
The next pitch is wrapped foul outside third, and the count holds at a ball and 2 strikes.
I was going to say, Al, when he goes to his windup, watch Niekro's glove. If we show the shot from center field, he'll open his glove, to get the knuckleball grip, to put his knuckles, dig his knuckles into the baseball. You don't have to do that when you're throwing a fastball or a slider. Let's see what he does here. There it is.
Got him swinging. So Niekro's knuckleball working effectively in the first inning. The Dodgers go out quietly, 3 up and 3 down. End of 1. Houston 2, Los Angeles nothing. Back at Dodger Stadium now, a look at Ron Cey, yesterday's hero, but just prior to hitting the home run that won the game in the 8th inning. He fouled a pitch off his foot. It swelled up overnight. Not in the starting lineup, replaced by Mickey Hatcher today, but available to pinch hit if needed. So the Dodger injury woes continue. Second inning, Houston leading 2-0. One-game divisional playoff. The winner, the champion of the National League West. And tomorrow they'll meet Philadelphia in the first game of the National League Championship Series. Craig Reynolds loops one by Thomas into left center for a base hit. Hit number 3 off Goltz. So the number 8 hitter gets aboard. And up comes Joe Niekro.
Another sinking fastball that time, and not a bad pitch. It may have been up, but it was on the outside part. Basically the kind of a hitter that Reynolds is, Al. He'll try to slap that ball to left field, and he did just over the outstretched glove of Darryl Thomas.
Niekro, very good hitting pitcher. And it's interesting because over his career he has not been a very good hitting pitcher. His lifetime average prior to the season was only 149, so he's nearly doubled it. He's around to bunt, it takes inside.
He's got 1 home run in the major leagues, Al.
Off.
You know who that's against?
You betcha. Family affair.
He hit his only major league home run against his brother Phil and beat him a ball game 4-3.
You don't think Phil grooved one, do you? Niekro is a good bunter. He has 15 sacrifices this season. Reynolds at first base and nobody out. Hatcher in on the grass at third. Bunted foul. 1-1. The first time the National League has had a divisional playoff. They went to the system in 1969. Remember, prior to that, 1 league, 1 winner, and on to the World Series. Breaking into divisions in 69. There's been 1 prior intra-divisional playoff in the American League with the Yankees beating Boston in 78. Bunted out in front of the plate. Ferguson will make the play at first base, and Niekro does the job as Lopes gets the put out 2-4. So Reynolds advancing to second, and with 1 down, the top of the order now, and Terry Poole.
Terry Poole, right field.
Poole hitting the ground ball that Lopes couldn't handle on the erratic hop in the first inning. Reaching on the error. Terry has muscled up a bit this year, and it's been by design. He's hit 13 home runs and leads the club in that department. 1-0.
Now I want to point out something here with Goltz against left-handed hitters. I think you find this a lot with right-handed pitchers. They're basically afraid sometimes to come inside because the margin of error is kind of small inside. But Goltz has got to work inside, too. And I'm not only talking with breaking balls. He's got that sinker to start off the inside corner and come back to catch it.
Bouncing ball to Garvey. Nice one-hand pickup. Runner advances to third. 2 down. So Reynolds moves over. And Enos Cabell coming up.
If you can imagine a left-handed batter up there against Dave Goltz to start that sinker off the inside corner. His sinker will run maybe 3-4 inches. To start it out as a bad pitch, you'll find hitters have a tendency to give up sometimes on a pitch like that. You can't keep staying away. I know that. He's got to pitch inside.
He goes to work on Cabell. Enos a base hit in the first inning. Astros leading 2-0. They came into L.A. on Friday with a 3-game lead. That has evaporated, and it's all on the line today. Fouled away. 0-1. The Dodgers, of course, no stranger to the playoffs in the World Series. They were in the playoffs both in 1977 and 1978. Runner at third is Reynolds. The Astros, of course, have never been there. Houston, an expansion franchise, came into the league in 1962. They've been in a couple of races, as you see Morgan on deck. But the Astros have never finished first in this, their 19th season. 2 down, Reynolds at third. Second inning, 2-0 Astros. 0-2 the count.
You know, this game, Al, similar to yesterday at the start of the game, the crowd here in Dodger Stadium, very quiet, very low-key, until the Dodgers finally erupted for a couple of runs, and then everything broke loose here.
It has really fed on itself, the crowd and the players, because the players have responded, and they've all been quoted as saying the crowd has really made a difference. They're like a 10th man. And so a crowd that, as I said before, has normally been labeled listless and blasé, has all of a sudden become very wild over the weekend. 0-2 to Cabell. Got him swinging. So that gets them roaring again. No runs, 1 hit. They leave Reynolds at third. And after an inning and a half at Los Angeles, Astros 2, Dodgers nothing. Steve Garvey will lead off for the Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Garvey 5 for 12 in this series, and the biggest of the 5 was this on Saturday. Nolan Ryan working, the score tied 1-1, and Garvey drilling it over the wall and left. That made it 2-1. Jerry Royce made that stand up. The Dodgers pulled to within 1 and got even yesterday. So Steve Garvey playing in his 835th consecutive game today and having another banner year. And good success, as you can see, against Niekro through his career. Tommy Lasorda. Like everybody else here, he's been through the ringer since Friday. Except Tommy's had 3 celebrations and Burden's had none. That's the difference. Joe Niekro, who set the side down 1-2-3, working bottom of the second. Houston leading 2-0 on 2 unearned runs. 1-0.
I think you'll basically see Alan Ashby stay with the knuckleballs from Niekro, Al, until he falls behind in the count. You don't like to get too smart. If a pitcher like Niekro's got the good knuckleball going, why mess around with something else? There's a good one, but he missed off the outside corner, the ball getting away from Ashby. I know you have a tendency as a catcher sometimes, falling behind, or even if a pitcher like Niekro is working good with a knuckleball, you get smart once in a while. You say, well, this guy's looking for a knuckleball. I'm going to go to the fastball or a slider, and pow.
2-0 pitch is popped up in foul ground and drifting back out of play.
Look at all the knuckleballers. I'm talking about the Wilhelms, the Tiefenauer, Barney Schultz, Joe Niekro. The one thing that separates Joe Niekro from the rest, Al, is the fact that he's got a fastball that he can throw around 87 to 88 miles per hour and a good sharp breaking slider. That's the big difference.
The longevity of knuckleball pitchers has been amazing. How many we see in their 40s. Wilhelm, of course, continued on until he was almost 50. Popped up. Morgan and Hauer right there, and Joe says he'll handle it and does for the out. So 4 in a row set down by Niekro, and with 1 down, Rick Monday will be coming up.
There's my point, Al. He got inside to Garvey that time with a fastball and popped him up.
Rick Monday. Playing center today. He's been playing right field in this series thus far with Guerrero in center. But Pete out of the lineup today. Niekro, 19 and 12 on the year. Joe, 35 years old. 1-0. Play 1-1. On deck, Joe Ferguson. With Shea out of the lineup, they've moved Fergie up in the order today. Hatcher dropping to 7.
Something I want to point out here, we're talking about the knuckleball. Get a look at Alan Ashby. Take a look at the oversized glove that he's using to catch Niekro. That glove really helps, but at times it's a hindrance too. When you catch a ball in there, especially with the runner going, you lose it sometimes. You reach in to grab a ball with the runner going, you don't get it the first time.
Line to right field, but right at Poole. 2 down. Two away. 5 straight set down by Niekro now. And Joe Ferguson coming up. Fergie with 9 homers and, of course, the one on Friday to win it. Ferguson with only 2 hits against Houston this season. 1-0. And Joe loves this park. He has hit 8 of his 9 home runs at Dodger Stadium. 2 out, bases empty, and the 1-0 pitch to Ferguson. Missing away. 2-0. Bill Burton, man who knows that the champagne is on ice, that the charter is ready to go to Philadelphia. But he's known that champagne's been on ice since Friday.
I'll tell you, about 8 or 10 of the bottles popped yesterday from the heat.
I hope they aged well.
Wasted.
The 2-0 pitch. Did he check in time? They appeal. Get the strike from the first base umpire. Nick Pelosi said he came around. 2-1. Pelosi, veteran umpire. He and Harvey were both here yesterday. Jerry Crawford and Andy Olson were both here yesterday. But today we've got Runge at second, Dale at third. Crawford will be handling the playoffs tomorrow. A strike and the count 2-2.
Boy, there's an excellent slider by Niekro. It's bad enough you have to face a guy like him, Al, with a good knuckleball. Hitters have a tendency, you're sitting on a 2-0 pitch, you know he's going to come with a fastball. You may swing at a bad pitch, as Ferguson did on a check swing. The pitch before that, then comes right back with a good slider.
Grounded to the right side. Morgan over toward the middle to play it and throw him out. So 2 perfect innings for Joe Niekro. The Dodgers gone in order again, and we go to the third at L.A. The Astros 2 and the Dodgers nothing. We played 2 innings at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. At stake today, 1-game divisional playoff, the National League West title. The Philadelphia Phillies relaxing at home. The winner of this one getting into Philadelphia, when you think about it, is about 4 o'clock Eastern time. Not the most pleasant of trips as far as that's concerned, but obviously each team would put up with it. Joe Morgan hitless in this series to lead off in the 3rd inning. Looks at a strike. Joe 0 for 12 to be followed by Cruz and Cedeno, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Morgan struck out in the 1st inning. Dave Goltz. And the 0-1 pitch. Fastball away.
Basically trying to stay away from Morgan. Al with the sinking fastball. First one good for a strike. He missed outside that time.
Hit in the air to right center field. Johnstone coming on. 1 out. One away in the 3rd inning. Johnstone and Monday, no doubt, talking about the conditions in the outfield, which, of course, if you've seen day games from Dodger Stadium, we've talked about it time and again, how tough it is to play out there. Primary evidence would be Guerrero over the past couple of days. 1-0 the count on Cruz. There's Cedeno on deck. Cruz hit the grounder to Hatcher in the 1st inning. 2-0. Terry Poole scoring the run on the error by Ferguson on that play. The Dodgers committing 2 errors in the 1st, and both Astro runs were unearned. Fouled away. 2-1.
Gold still trying to stay away, Al, with the left-handed batters. Cruz every once in a while will sting you. Got 11 home runs for the year. He gets something off speed inside. He'll try and turn it around on you toward right field.
Hit into left field for a base hit. So Jose Cruz hit it right off the end of the bat and on the ground to the hole. Hit number 4 for Dave Goltz, and Cedeno the batter.
He's had such a tough series, talking about Cruz, and he's basically an opposite field hitter with a guy like Goltz who basically tries to stay away. He'll try to slap the ball, which he just did. But he's had a tough series, along with Cedeno.
Cesar drove in a run in the first on a ground out. One away, Cruz at first. Cedeno will finish over 300 this season. It'll be the first time for Cesar since 1973. And right now, as play began today, he was tied with McBride for 4th in the league in hitting, but he's dropped a point, grounding out in the first inning, so he's down to 5th. Billy Buckner winning the batting title. Buckner of the Cubs wound up at 324. Runner goes, pitch out. Ferguson throw down to Thomas, and they nail him. Dodgers guessing right, and Cruz is erased.
Ferguson almost waited too long again, Al. He took a lot of time with a pitch out. The throw to Thomas covering was high, but still in time to get Cruz. Here's his jump now. A pitch out. And as I said, Ferguson almost took too much time. There's the throw and the tag put on by Thomas at second. Another angle, another look at Cruz. The high throw, Thomas has it, and the tag.
2 out, bases empty, and the 1-0 pitch is wrapped right back through the middle for a base hit. So Cedeno with a single, following Cruz getting thrown out at second. That's 5 hits off Goltz in 2 2/3 innings, and they've all been singles. Art Howe. Howe, a base hit in the first. Cedeno, at age 29, still with excellent speed, leads the team in steals with 47. 0-1.
Surprising stat for Art Howe. Al, he's one of the very, very low-key guys in the National League. You really have to pump him to get him to talk. We've talked about this before. He's a valuable piece of property for Houston. The right players tell you that. They like to have him in the lineup.
Howe is a fellow who didn't play pro ball until he was 25 years old. Went to a Pirate tryout camp.
Every time you talk to him before a game, Al, and we've done Houston 3 or 4 times this year, you talk to him about an interview, he said, "You kidding? You really want me?"
Still doesn't believe.
Really a nice guy.
He was a computer programmer.
That's what
in
he
Pittsburgh.
looks like. Very low-key, mild-type guy.
Went to a tryout camp, played briefly with the Pirates. Cedeno goes. The pitch is a strike. Ferguson's throw does not get him. Cesar got a good jump that time, and that's steal number 48. So the Astros playing their game. Cabell with a steal in the first. Cruz attempting a steal here in the third, and now Cedeno is successful.
This is a breaking ball. Cedeno with a good jump, and Ferguson's throw late. The second stolen base in the game for Houston. There you see Davey Lopes taking that high throw. No play for Cedeno. Stolen base number 192 for Houston this year.
0-2 pitch. Low. 1-2. Astros 2, Dodgers nothing. We're in the third inning with 2 out, and Cedeno at second base.
Well, the Astros needing a big 2-out base hit here to get the run. Cedeno from second. They did it yesterday with Terry Poole out with that big double driving in a run. But in the 9th yesterday with 2 on, runners at first and third, couldn't make it. No Verdon.
2-2 on Howe. Broken bat foul. And so Howe will go over to get a new piece of wood as Cedeno retreats to second. That steal for Cesar was number 475 of his career. He is 6th on the National League all-time list from 1900 on. I'll tell you, the numbers have become amazing over the past few years in particular. We've now seen Lou Brock, of course, eclipsing the old mark held by Maury Wills, and then Ricky Henderson this season becoming the 3rd man to steal over 100 bases.
First in the American League.
Moreno came
back
close.
In 1915. Yep.
LaFleur came close. Ron stole 97 this year, and Omar stole 96. 2-2 pitch. Missing high, ball 3. Oh, Goltz looking at Harvey, an extra long stare.
Ferguson tried to pull that ball down, too, Al. It was a breaking pitch that was upstairs. Got to look at it the other way, too, that Howe didn't lean into it. Hanging curve.
Full count. On deck is Alan Ashby. 2 out in the 3rd. The 3-2 pitch is fouled away. National League Championship Series getting underway tomorrow in Philadelphia. You'll see it on ABC at 8 Eastern Time. American League Championship Series commencing Wednesday, day game, 3 o'clock Eastern. Game 2 National Wednesday night. Game 2 American Thursday night. The National League taking the day off Thursday. Cedeno, the runner at second, with 2 down in the 3rd. Houston leading 2-0. 3-2 pitch again. It's hit high in the air to deep left center field, and that one is gone. Well, the Dodgers have been coming from behind all weekend, but now they are 4 in arrears. 4-0 Houston. The jubilant Astro dugout. That's a scene we haven't seen much Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but it's 4-0 on Howe's 10th home run of the season.
Al, I'm really surprised. I talked about this earlier, the fact that Goltz, his best pitch is a sinking fastball.
That's a base hit for Ashby in the center field. Dodger bullpen inactive at the moment.
Here it is again. This is a high breaking ball. Look at this hanger. That's a hanging slider, and Art Howe really nailed it. His 10th home run of the year to put Houston on top 4-0. But getting back to what I was saying a moment ago, his best pitch is a sinking type fastball. I can't believe a pitcher can get beat with a number 2 ball, and that's what it is for Goltz.
There's Art Howe. He may get some postseason endorsements, but they won't be for shampoo.
The second home run hit by Houston in this park this year, Al.
Terry Poole hit the other one in the very first meeting here. Rick Sutcliffe up again and throwing in the Dodger pen. He was throwing in the first. Ashby going back in standing up, and Pelosi hesitated on the call. Reynolds got a base hit to lead off in the second. Hit to right center field. Monday, a long way to go, and it's in the gap. Rick will cut the ball off. Ashby is being waved in. Here comes the relay from Lopes, and they nail him. And look at Ferguson, and the benches are emptying. Both benches emptying. Doug Harvey saying, go back, go back. Further confrontation. But the tension of a divisional playoff. There's Bob Willis. Alan Ashby couldn't get to the plate. Doug Harvey, cooler heads prevailing. So both benches emptying on the play at home, in which they throw out Ashby trying to score on Lopes' relay
effort trying to score Ashby. Here's the throw from Lopes, and you'll see what the incident was all about following the tag as the collision is made. Ashby, now watch Joe Ferguson with the knee. Right there. That's what the problem's all about. The Houston bench upset. The first time in the series that any club has had a 4-run lead. Ferguson fired up.
2 runs, 5 hits in the inning. We played 2.5, and it's 4-0 Astros.
Here's another look at that play, and a fine play by Mundy to cut that ball off with a barehanded grab, and a perfect throw to Lopes. Ashby trying to score. Perfect relay throw by Lopes to Ferguson, right on the button. Now watch the collision. Ashby trying to jar the ball loose. And, of course, both benches, you saw them empty, and here's why. Ferguson with a knee into the rib cage of Alan Ashby. And I don't know if Fergie was trying to fire this Dodger club up, but he may have just done the opposite, firing the Astro club up. They lead 4-0.
If nothing else, he has fired the crowd up anyway. They responded between innings, all standing as you look at Joe Ferguson. Bottom of the 3rd inning and the bottom of the Dodger order as Mickey Hatcher leads things off.
Well, everything's been Dodgers, Al, in the first 3 games. Houston was leads. They lost them. They've got it today.
Listen to that crowd again. As we mentioned yesterday, it's 9th inning emotion early. Outside. 1-0 the count on Hatcher. So now they're roaring on every pitch in the 3rd inning. But the Dodgers have to climb a pretty good-sized hill. Base hit into left field. Mickey Hatcher in only his 2nd season.
Al Necro started him off with a knuckleball, then came with a high fastball, and Hatcher ripped it in the left field, a base hit. Well, the string by Necro, retiring 6 in a row, broken with a leadoff single by Hatcher.
Darryl Thomas is the batter. Rudy Law has come out on deck. So Goltz is done. Sutcliffe is in the bullpen for L.A. There's Law, who'll bat for the pitcher next. Thomas takes inside, ball 1. 1-0.
Al, you remember we talked earlier about the fact that Necro, with a knuckleball, it's his number 1. That's his bread and butter. The fastball, the slider are secondary. He's got to stay with his number 1. He really does. He's got to pitch with it. He's got the 4-0 lead, and Ashby's got to make him throw it. Until you really get behind. If he wants to go 3-0, or if he's going to go 3-0, then come with a fastball, fine. But up until that time, you got to stay with the number 1.
1-0 the count. The crowd roaring in the 3rd. Houston leading 4-0. The 1-0 pitch to Thomas is wrapped into right center field. That's a base hit. Hatcher on his way to 3rd as Cedeno gets it back in. If nothing else, there will be a tremendous run on throat lozenges in Los Angeles tonight.
Boy, amazing again, Al, as they did yesterday. Everybody here at Dodger Stadium is standing, and again, Bill Verdon trying to figure it out. There's a fastball again from Necro. Right down the pipe. And the base hit by Thomas, putting Dodger runners at 1st and 3rd. I tell you, they got to beat me with my best pitch.
Rudy Law, a rookie sensation early in the season, started to fade a bit, then came out of the lineup. Coming up as a pinch hitter in the 3rd inning. Rudy looked like he'd be the Rookie of the Year in the National League through April and May and part of June. Batting for Goltz here in the 3rd.
And Bill Verdon with his ace on, no activity in the Houston bullpen, staying with Necro. All belongs to him today, trying to nail it down.
Astro infield, double play depth. They've got a fair-sized cushion. There you see the positioning of Reynolds and Morgan. Nobody out in the 3rd. Law hits it in the air to left field. Hatcher is tagging. Cruz is there. makes the catch, and Hatcher will stay at third as Cabell cuts the throw off, and Thomas remains at first. So medium deep left field, and with nobody out, Danny Ozark holding Mickey Hatcher at third. One gun.
And a perfect throw that time by Cruz. They would have had a play on Hatcher. The time Niekro came with a knuckleball, Al. He started him off. And I talked earlier about Ashby having the heat on him just in this type of a situation where you've got to stay with it and hope you grab it, hope you hang on.
Davey Lopes bounced out in the first inning. Wearing a specially created brace. Pinched nerve in his neck. He's had back trouble this year. He spent time on the disabled list. Came on a bit in the second half. Lopes did not have a good first half. Nonetheless, he was a leading vote getter for the All-Star game. Now, Ashby wants to go to the mound. It's incredible the effect a crowd can have. You think back the '77 playoffs. I've never seen anything like it in Philadelphia when the fans were going wild early in a game. Dodgers, Phillies, and literally hooted Bert Hooton off the mound.
That's right. It happens many times, Al. Players say it doesn't bother them. I don't believe it. Either way, offensively or defensively.
One out, runners at first and third. Niekro driving Thomas back.
You remember yesterday after the game, Al, we talked about that play where Howe didn't cut off the throw from right field, allowing Manny Mota to go to second. Obviously didn't hear the catcher hollering to cut it off because of the huge crowd.
Lopes hits it to left field, just about the same spot. Hatcher tags again and holds again. So we have a replay right there. Law and Lopes hitting fly balls to just about the same spot, and the runners are still at first and third with two down now.
And again, Cruz taking that ball hit by Lopes on the run with his momentum carrying him toward the plate. Got off a perfect throw, cut off by Cabell. But again, they would have had a play on Hatcher, Al.
Jose coming in this time because he was back further for Lopes. He was playing in just about that spot. Didn't have to move very far for the fly ball by the left-hand batting Law. Jay Johnstone grounded out in the first inning. Hatcher at third and Thomas at first. Two down, bottom of the third, 4-0 Astros.
With the knuckleball right there, handled by Ashby. If Niekro stops the Dodgers here, he may also stop this crowd for a while.
1-1.
I know. I'll tell you, they're tough, Al. They really are. I can't emphasize how tough it is in a situation like this. The pressure and the heat that's on Ashby, but he's going right with it. He's staying right with the knuckleball. He's got to.
Straight back in the count 1-2. Let me ask you, would a pitcher with a man at third, even though you really don't know where the knuckleball is going, might you think about trying to place it a little bit higher?
The thing that Niekro tries to do, Al, with his knuckleball, Joe, that is, in opposition to Phil Niekro, Phil just lets it go. I think some knuckleball pitchers can direct the knuckleball to hit the outside or inside corner. Niekro tries to keep it basically low, and it's a lot easier for the catcher to handle.
1-2 pitch is popped up in foul ground. Enos Cabell charging over, having trouble with the sun, and makes the catch. He almost overran it and spikes it. Enos Cabell had a long way to go. He was charging. He was looking up into the sun, and he's able to catch it in the webbing of his glove.
I don't think Ashby ever saw it. There's the grab by Cabell, as Al said. He almost overran it, but reaches back to make the play.
End of 3, 4-0 Houston. The National League Western Division playoff. One game at Dodger Stadium to determine the champion. Houston leading 4-0 as we go to the top of the fourth inning. A reminder, coming up a big one. NCAA college football this Saturday at 12:30 Eastern. Unbeaten Texas against once-beaten Oklahoma. The Sooners lost to Stanford 2 weeks ago, but last week beat Colorado 82-42 in Boulder. From Dallas, a classic always, year after year, the Sooners and the Longhorns, Saturday. Tommy Lasorda, not particularly thrilled about what he saw in the bottom of the third inning. The Dodgers had 2 on and nobody out and couldn't score. Houston leading 4-0. We go to the fourth inning. The new Dodger pitcher is Rick Sutcliffe, and he'll work on his opposite number, Joe Niekro, leading off, and Terry Poole and Enos Cabell. Negro sacrificing in the second inning. 1-0 the count. Sutcliffe, in his 32nd relief appearance. Last year, Rookie of the Year, he was 17-10. 2-0. This year, in the starting rotation early, and then came out. Bill Burden, the Astro manager, this team with its biggest lead in this series. A strike here, and the count 2-1. Popped up, foul ground, and back at first. Garvey coming over, starting to run out of room, and does. Back in about 3 rows. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. The Astros with 4 runs, 8 hits through 3. Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors, both in the first inning, leading to 2 runs. Grounded to Hatcher. Mickey waits for it, and then guns him down. 1 away now in the 4th inning. Terry Poole, safe on an error, and grounded out.
Yeah, one of the errors, Al, back in that Dodger first inning. Committed to, led to a couple of Houston runs.
Trying to bunt his way on. Hatcher can't barehand, and Poole is aboard. Mickey was inching in and was on the move trying to barehand it and can't make the play.
It would have been a tough play for him, Al. Here's a good bunt by Poole. And as you said, Hatcher was inching up toward the plate. There's the try for the barehanded play. He can't make it. The lines here at Dodger Stadium, Al, slope in toward the mound. Any ball that's bunted down each line, it's not going to go foul. We've seen it happen a couple of times yesterday where balls that were hit on the line had to be played because they were not going to go foul. Normally a ball that's hit or bunted right along the chalk line would roll into foul territory, but not so here in Dodger Stadium.
By design, too.
Yes, sir.
Enos Cabell, 1-2. Poole can run. 25 steals for Terry. So Cabell still waiting patiently at the plate. 1 away in the top of the 4th inning. There's a pitch out, and Poole remaining at first.
You know, the 3 pitch outs that Ferguson has called today, Al, were pitch outs. You remember the game yesterday where he called 2 pitch outs and they were strikes?
With Valenzuela.
He had stepped out to take a pitch out, and both of them were hit. 2 of the 3 were hit.
Times now, Sutcliffe going over to Garvey.
Al, you know, each time that pitcher makes a throw to first base, you have your infield set. He's in his stretch. The infielders are all poised to take a ground ball if it's hit at him. Now you got to stand up again as the pitcher makes his throw. It's aggravating to an infielder as well as a hitter at the plate. You see Cabell stepping out. You stand in there. You got yourself all set to go, and the pitcher goes to first base. That's the one thing that the Astros do to you.
1-0 the count.
Poole is really not getting that big a lead, Al, because he's getting back with a foot tag. You get that big lead, you go back head first or with a slide when you really extend your lead off the bag.
He goes. A pitch out again to throw down a second, and they don't get him. So not only do they pitch out, they fail to get him, and now the count goes to 2-0. Thomas disputing the call with Paul Runge.
again, you hate to be repetitious, Al, but Ferguson takes so much time getting rid of the ball. He takes 2 steps. There's the break by Poole, and watch the high throw again. High throw, and the tag by Thomas. He's there. Another angle. This is from behind home plate. There's the high throw. Thomas with the tag, but he's late. Ferguson just takes too much time, Al. He winds up. He throws a lot on the ball. He has a lot of velocity, but he takes just that split second too long.
That's 3 steals today for Houston. Fergie has thrown out 1. And it's 3-0 now on Enos Cabell with Joe Morgan waiting on deck. Poole at second. 1 out in the 4th inning. Got the green light. 3-1.
They have swung at ball 4 too, Al. Pitch down low and away from him. Missed it swinging. Sutcliffe has an excellent changeup, Al. His fastball, curve, hard curve, and a good change. He missed on a 2-0 change to Cabell to take him 3-0.
Three balls, 1 strike to count. Poole going. It's ball 4 and another steal. So that's 4 steals now. As Enos Cabell draws the walk. And the Astros are runners at first and third.
And Ferguson wisely held on. He had a big jump, Al. No chance for Ferguson that time. You saw Hatcher break late toward the bag, but there was no play on him. No chance for Ferguson. He had a big jump against Sutcliffe. The Dodgers playing raggy, Al. Ferguson's throw back to Sutcliffe after the steal. The ball popped away from Sutcliffe between third and short. It was retrieved by Hatcher. But the runner at third, Poole, not watching.
So most of the pressure today figured to fall upon the shoulders of one Alan Ashby, catching the knuckleball from Niekro, and instead it's Ferguson whom they're running ragged.
Well, he's done a good job, Al. Ashby through the first 4 innings here.
Dodger infield double play depth as Morgan takes low for a ball. 1-0 the count, and the Dodger bullpen swinging into action again. Joe Beckwith up in the pen. To Morgan. Missing, low and in, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Houston leading 4-0 with Poole at third and Cabell at first. 1 away. What's great for Houston about a 4-run lead, they can continue to play their game running. The Dodgers, it's a different story. You can't run when you're down by 4 necessarily. Some teams do. 3-0 the count. But it's risky when you're down 4-0 to take chances stealing.
Well, that steal by Poole, he had such a great jump. There's the on-deck hitter. Cruz, Poole at third. He had such a big jump against Sutcliffe, and I think with this kind of a club, Al, I would think Burton would tell people like Poole who have good speed. Morgan missing a 3-0 pitch. If they have that kind of a lead, why not? To create things and make things happen. They've been beaten 3 times on home runs.
It's gotten you this far. You've got to keep it up.
Yes, sir. Got to go.
Can't change the strategy late, so they're being very aggressive, stealing and swinging on 3-0 pitches. It's a play that you see quite a bit. Hardly takes anybody out. Bluff to third and go back to first. Cabell has seen it 100 times.
They work in spring training only because you get tired of doing them.
3-1 to Morgan. Is popped up in foul ground, coming straight back, and Fergie will run out of room. 3-2 now.
You know, you run those plays so many times in spring training, Al. They do it with the pitchers and the catchers early in the spring. Pitcher at first, pitcher at third, with a pitcher on the mound making that same move. Guy at first base will finally get picked off so you can end the day. Otherwise, they keep you out there until somebody gets picked off.
There's Beckwith in the bullpen. I once saw a game in which the Giants tried to make that move. The throw went to first and all the way into the right field corner, and 2 runs scored in Montreal. 3-2 the count. They send Cabell, and Morgan takes ball 4, and they're loaded. So a single and 2 walks, and Jose Cruz is coming up. Beckwith in the bullpen. As they're loaded up here. Poole at third. Cabell at second. And there's Morgan.
We've talked about Ashby, as you mentioned a moment ago, Al, with the heat on him today, the guy that might be doing the diving around and having a tough time. Tommy Lasorda coming out. This might be all for Sutcliffe, but it's Joe Ferguson. Fastball that time getting away from Sutcliffe, almost a wild pitch, and he had to make a backhanded play to stop it.
Tommy Lasorda taking his time. If he's going to make a move, he's going to give Beckwith the benefit of some extra warm-up pitches.
I don't know how much further he can go with Sutcliffe. He's not going to go much further at all. He's gone. He's walked 2, given up a base hit here, 2 stolen bases, and the Dodgers trailing 4-0. Bases loaded.
So Joe Beckwith coming in relief of Sutcliffe. As we're in the 4th inning in L.A., Houston leading 4-0. We'll be right back. Houston leading 4-0. They have the bases loaded in the top of the 4th inning and 1 out. Joe Beckwith taking his warm-up pitches on in relief of Rick Sutcliffe. Want to remind you tonight on That's Incredible at 8 Eastern Time. Meet a man who they tell us has been dead for 52 years and visit a hotel that has more ghosts than guests. Followed by ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, 9 Eastern Time. The Tampa Bay Bucks led by Doug Williams against the Chicago Bears and Walter Payton. On the West Coast, That's Incredible follows Monday Night Football.
Doing my career story.
Dead for 52 years. He's back again. Rick Sutcliffe, who had no success back on the Dodger bench. Beckwith into work to try to keep the Dodgers in the game. It's 4-0 Houston. Of course, we may be getting set up for just some more dramatics. Who knows? All weekend long, the Dodgers have been doing it. They trailed 3-0 yesterday. They have been pulling a Houdini act all weekend. And they'll have to pull another one today.
Yes, sir. Beckwith, Al, another, you call him a power type pitcher, working 59+ innings with 40 strikeouts. ERA 1.98. 3-3 1-loss record.
Jose Cruz goes down on a pitch up and in. 1-0.
Jose would take 3 more of those. I know he would.
Poole at third. Cabell at second. Morgan at first. Dodger infield looking for the double play, which is exactly what they need right here. This is where you want a comebacker on 1 hop right back to the mound. Hit to center field, deep enough to score a run if Monday can make the catch, and he does. A great catch. It'll score a run as Morgan retreats to first and Cabell gets back to second. So Houston leads 5-0, but Rick Monday, were it not for the catch, it might have been 7-0.
Outstanding play by Monday. It just didn't look like he was going to be able to catch up to the ball, Al, and then that diving lunge, he grabbed it. You saw the ball momentarily, but he hung on. Here it is one more time. Fastball from Beckwith, and Cruz hits it into left center field. A long run now by Monday, and watch this diving grab, and the ball almost popped away from him. Almost. You see it right there. He hung on. A run scores. 5-0 Houston. Another angle. Fine play by Monday. The veteran.
So 2 out in the inning. It's 5-0. And Cedeno at the plate. On the corner, 0-1. Cedeno 1 for 2.
Come on, Cesar. Plant one of them palm trees out there.
Count even. 1-1.
Dodger Stadium crowd, Al, really quiet. Runners, Cabell at second, Morgan at first. Negro getting out of that big jam in the Dodger third.
Beckwith ready with a 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Ferguson throwing through to second. Davy Lopes saving it.
In the dirt.
Cabell getting back. Enos Cabell. Well, the Astros 1 out away from clinching it on Friday. As we follow Davy Lopes back to his position. And losing a 1-run game Saturday. Blowing a 3-run lead yesterday. If they were to lose this one, I tell you, the winter would seem like it was 800 years long.
Yeah, we talked yesterday, Al, about plays and pitches and balls that are hit in series throughout the course of the season. It seems that folks always remember the playoff or a final game such as we're having here today. That's what they remember about a ball club and a losing cause.
3-1 the count on Cedeno.
There have been some great plays in this series. Some balls that were easy plays that were bobbled, that led to victories, led to runs. It's been a great series, though. It really has.
2 on and 2 out, and it's 3-1 on Cedeno. Count full now, so with a count 3-2, the runners will be going. Cabell and Morgan ready to take off with a pitch. Houston leading 5-0 in the 4th inning. 1 game for the title. The winner in Philadelphia tomorrow night to take on Carlton. Tommy Lasorda. Very quiet in the early innings of all 3 games. Game 4 today. 3-2 pitch is inside, and Cedeno is on as they have reloaded the bases. So 3 walks in the inning. 2 by Sutcliffe, 1 here by Beckwith, and up comes Art Howe, who has singled and homered. Red Adams, the Dodger pitching coach, is going to the mound. Now, he doesn't make the changes. So Beckwith will stay in. Bobby Castillo is working in the Dodger bullpen.
Castillo's been up, Al. He's been throwing since the inning started. There you see him. 5 straight wins for the Dodger right-hander. Beckwith, as did Sutcliffe, control problems. Walking Cedeno with 2 out to reload the bases, as Al told you. Only a fine play by Monday in left center field on that ball hit by Cruz has prevented a couple of more runs from scoring. 5-0 Houston.
Red Adams going back to the dugout as Art Howe climbs in here. Bases loaded and 2 down in the 4th. Unintentionally fouled away, and the count is 0-1. No expression change there. Billy looking the same, 5 up or 5 down. Broken bat, bouncer into center field for a base hit. Cabell and Morgan both score, and the Astros lead it 7-0. So Howe shattering his bat and driving it through the middle, and Lasorda makes the long trek to the mound. It's 7-0 Astros, and Howe has driven in 4 runs today.
3 for 3 for Art Howe. Base hit on the infield in the 1st inning. The 2-run homer on a hanging breaking ball from Goltz. And now a 2-run single by Beckwith. 7-0 Houston. And Bobby Castillo will become the new Dodger pitcher. Joe Beckwith is gone. Goltz, Sutcliffe, and Beckwith.
Bobby Castillo coming in from the Dodger pen to face Alan Ashby. In the 4th inning, the Astros leading the Dodgers 7-0. We'll be back in a minute. Al Michaels and Bob Uecker at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Bobby Castillo, the 4th Dodger pitcher, he worked 4 innings in relief yesterday. He came on in the 2nd inning. On here in relief of Gold, Sutcliffe, and Beckwith. So the Houston Astros very much now in the driver's seat. The last 7 games between these two teams have been decided by 1 run. But today the Astros leading 7-0. A very somber Dodger bench right now.
Well, you talked earlier, Al, about Tommy Lasorda or Verdon, for that matter. Should the game get out of hand or be the kind of a ball game where they would use everybody. That's the way it's been for the Dodgers so far. They brought in Don Sutton yesterday to get the final out, who pitched on Friday. And today, Gold, Sutcliffe, Beckwith, and now Castillo.
The 8th man in the inning to come up for Houston is Alan Ashby. The Astros have Cedeno at 3rd and Howe at 1st with 2 down. Houston with 10 hits in 3 2/3 innings. And the Dodgers have made 2 errors. And they've also yielded a couple of walks. 1-0 the count. Cedeno, the runner at 3rd. There's Howe, who has 4 RBIs today at 1st. 1-0 the count. Been a good series for Ashby, 6 for 12.
You know, Al, he played such a good game yesterday, a couple of base hits. He knocked in a run. He made a big play when he threw out Thomas on a very close call at second base. He's really done a fine job. And I talked to him before the game. I said, the heat is on you. He said, that's the way it is every time with Necro. He said, you just go along with, you know, he said, many times the knuckleballs hit you all over the glove. He said, you keep calling them, you got to go with it. He said, I don't worry about it.
2-1 pitch is fouled back. 2-2.
Then the play at home plate also involving Ashby, where he was cut down on the throw from Lopes and takes a knee in the side from Ferguson. That got both benches on the field with no further damage being done.
The only further damage being done has been done to the Dodgers. The Astros with 3 over in the inning and leading 7-0. Up and away, full count. So it's 3-2, and Howe will be taking off with a pitch from first base. So Garvey can play behind him. Three and 2 on Ashby. And they're loaded again. 4 walks in the inning. 2 issued by Sutcliffe. And 1 apiece by Beckwith and Castillo.
Well, the writers and the folks that have been here for this series, as you look at the runners, Cedeno, Howe, and Ashby, talking about the youthfulness of this Houston ball club. Al, could they handle the pressure? Things have turned around in this final game. It's been the young Dodger staff, Sutcliffe, Beckwith, and now Castillo. The walks here in the 4th inning.
Craig Reynolds, 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Chasing a screwball, 0-1. Castillo taking a lot of time. Now the 0-1 pitch. Another scoopy, and the count is 0-2.
2 good screwballs, and the Dodger fans trying to rally him here. Trailing 7-0. Dodgers not out of it yet. We're in the 4th. A long way to go.
No balls, 2 strikes to count. Bases loaded, 2 out in the 4th inning. The Astros leading 7-0. Don Stanhouse throwing now in the Dodger bullpen. Cedeno trying to coax him off. And he strikes him out. Ferguson will have to throw to first to get the out. Put out goes to Garvey, and the inning is over, but an interminable one for the Dodgers. Houston gets 3 runs, 2 hits plus 4 walks. And after 3.5, 7-0 Astros. Well, the crowd has certainly not given up hope. They respond. There they are. Most standing now as the Dodgers come to the plate. Still early in the game, but 7-0 Houston. Rafael Landeskog has taken over now at second base. Joe Morgan with the gimpy knee. And so Burton can afford to remove Joe with a 7-run lead as we go to the 4th inning. The Dodgers with Baker, Garvey, and Monday facing Niekro, who retired the first 6 men he faced, gave up 2 singles to start the 3rd, and then worked out of a 1st and 3rd nobody out jam. Baker bothered by a hamstring, 1-13 in this series. Dusty struck out in the 1st. They've come to believe here in L.A. Joe Niekro, very strong down the stretch. 1-0 to Baker. A strike. 1-1 the count.
This is the time of the game, Al, when you may see Niekro go to a fastball a little more. As we said earlier, when I talked earlier about staying with a knuckleball in a closer ball game, you got to stay with your number 1. But now he's got the 7-run cushion and can afford every once in a while to mix in a fastball. He started him off with a knuckler, fell behind 1-0, and then came back with a heater. And right back with a knuckleball.
1-2. So mixing them up as Burton looks out. Of course, the key thing here, 7-0. The last thing in the world you want to do is walk a man. It's imperative to throw strikes. Here's a man with good control. Throw over the plate.
Due to the fact the Dodgers have come back in each game, Al, to win them. Being behind, but now big 7-run cushion.
Bouncing to 3rd, Cabell backs up, wicked hop, recovers, throws to 1st, and it bounces by Howe and bounces into the photographer's area. And so Baker will be given second base.
Well, a runner on again against Niekro. Really a tough play for Cabell that time. That ball took a wicked hop. He's charged with an error. I thought they might score this a base hit, Al.
They did. 1-1. Hit and error, both.
Hit and an error. Okay, there it is. There it is. A wicked hop. Hitting Cabell up around the hip area. There's the error, the overthrow at first base. I looked up on the scoreboard and I saw error. I didn't see the hit flashed up. Very tough play. Of course, Cabell yesterday committing the error on Garvey's ball that, let's say, followed with a 2-run homer. 1 on, nobody out.
Steve Garvey. I think you saw Doug Harvey motion to the public address announcer here, John Ramsey, the downward motion. People are throwing things on the field is what it amounts to, and they're throwing objects at, I think, Jose Cruz in particular, out in left. And so the announcement was made by John Ramsey about the missiles being hurled from the pavilion area and the seats down in the left field corner.
Al, it's really bad, Al, when things like that happen. It's bad enough when you have to play in a stadium on the road, jam-packed as it has been here in Dodger Stadium for the last 4 days. You've got the lead 7-0, and then to have objects thrown at the outfielders, it's tough. It really is. There's no sense to it. The Dodgers had everything going their way in the first 3 games. They've been taking their whipping here this afternoon thus far. Very uncharacteristic, too, of Dodger Stadium, we might add, Al.
Well, it used to be uncharacteristic. Then they got wild with Pete Rose when he played left for a while. That was a terrible scene. Now they're venting their wrath upon Cruz.
You know, standing and applauding and trying to get your club going is fine, but throwing stuff, and you know, it's not only paper and stuff that they're throwing out there, it's metal objects. That's the problem.
Baker at second now. Garvey at the plate. Steve 0 for 1. Garvey tries to bunt his way on and fouls it back. So Bell was playing deep, so Steve figures, look, we need base runners. I'll try to bunt my way aboard.
As he did in yesterday's game with a bunt single for his 200th base hit.
Houston leading 7-0. Nobody out. Bottom of the 4th inning. Baker at second.
Boy, there's a good knuckleball by Niekro. You saw Garvey that time readjust his footwork a little, Al. He tried to time the pitch. So tough when you go against a guy like Niekro. Hitters sometimes try to readjust their swing. Messes you up all the more.
Got him, but it gets by Ashby. However, he recovers and throws him out. Baker was thinking about advancing to third, but Dusty's got that hamstring pull, and so consequently he remains at second.
Well, we've talked about this before. Watch this knuckleball, folks, and this is a good job by Ashby. It really is. The strikeout to Garvey. Look at that ball go down. That ball may have almost gotten Ashby on the bare hand. They say, Al, when you catch the knuckleball, as you watch Ashby pick up and make the throw, retiring Garvey, a lot of catchers try to catch it palms up. You try to slap it down, which Ashby tried to do to keep it in front of him and make a play because it really busted on him. Good play.
Rick Monday, flied out, second inning. Baker at second and one down, bottom of the 4th inning. Bouncer toward the middle, base hit. Now Baker, remember, has the hamstring pull, but they're waving him in anyway, and he'll score. The throw goes to second. Rick Monday with a single to center. Interesting, Cedeno sort of played it casually, and as I watched Baker start to round third, he was hobbling a bit, and Ozark waited. And then when he saw the way Cedeno was playing the ball, he said, all right, come on.
7-0 lead, and here's the first Dodger run now. A knuckleball upstairs by Niekro. Bounced back over the middle, and as Al said, Cedeno in center. A rather leisurely stroll toward the ball. There you see it. And Baker hobbling as he scores. The 7-1 game now. But you're right, Al. I thought Cedeno, although having problems again in left field now, Al, again, objects being thrown out there by Cruz.
Yeah.
At Cruz. Bad.
Oh, what can you say? I mean, it's
too bad, really is.
Just a few. Every ballpark, I guess, has them. Think back to I guess the worst thing of all had to be Shea Stadium, what, 73? When Sparky Anderson pulled his Cincinnati team off the field.
It's terrible. It really is. Brutal.
Well,
say what you want about fans and whatever.
You know what the umpires are going to do now? They're going to pull the Astros off the field. They're going to take Houston off the field, and in that way will they get the crowd to comport itself decently. So Doug Harvey taking full control of the situation. We've seen enough ugly scenes over the past few years that Harvey, a man who is very determined, full control of the game, he says, all right, if you're going to continue on like this, this is the way I'm going to call an end to it.
I tell you. Very tough.
So the Astros will go back in the dugout. They'll make an announcement to the crowd again. And we'll be back in a moment with 7-1 Houston out front.
Well, the first night was tough. We were within 1 out of having it wrapped up, and we didn't get the out. And I had a tough time getting any rest that night. Last 2 nights, you know, the games have gone against us to some extent. We've had our chances, haven't taken advantage of them. I just have to say that they've outplayed us a little bit in all 3 games.
Bill Burden, manager of the Astros, with his team back out on the field. Houston leading 7-1. The Dodgers with Joe Ferguson at the plate, 1 out. Rick Monday, the runner at first. So play resuming now. Joe Niekro has given up 4 hits. 1-0 the count. Knuckler 1-1.
That pitch was not fouled, folks, by Ferguson. Ball just popping away from Alan Ashby.
Pulling the team off the field is a league directive. It's a good rule, too. They did not have that prior to, I guess, a couple of years ago. 2-1 the count. That, of course, created that horrible scene in New York in '73.
Well, it is bad. There's no cause for it, as we said earlier. Bad enough for a visiting team playing on the road in a series of this magnitude. The playoff game today, the pressure is on. Not only have to put up with the heat of the baseball game itself, but dodging objects.
Here we go again. Now you've got
Doug
right
Harvey,
center field.
Right field out there. Terry Poole. You see the objects behind Poole out there. They're cups. There was a couple of baseballs or tennis balls thrown at Cruz out in left field, Al.
What has to happen really in the bleachers, the fans have to police themselves. You've got to weed out the bumps. Fouled away in the count 2-2. You can put all the security people out there you want, but really it's self-enforcement more than anything else. Peer pressure.
Well, if you got baseball fans, Al, and obviously they've got many of them here in Los Angeles. The crowds have been great, as we said before. You're right. They've got to be policed by themselves out there.
Knuckler in there. Strike 3. So Ferguson becomes the third strikeout victim. And up comes Mickey Hatcher. This program, an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
This is WTVW Channel 7 Evansville.
Mickey Hatcher, base hit in the third inning. 2 down now. Monday at first base. Houston leading 7-1. 1-0 the count.
I watch Necro, Al. Every once in a while, he'll try to put a little extra on a knuckleball. Makes it that much tougher on Ashby. There was another one that really busted down and inside. Ashby hung on to it. If there's anything that Ashby is liking about this game, it's got to be the score, Al. 7-1, where you can afford to mess around with a knuckleball. If one gets by you with a runner at first, it's not too bad. There's that big glove, folks. Take a look at the pocket on that baby.
Hatcher taking all the way 2-1. You've got to take some pitches now. You're down by 6 runs. The count goes to 2-0. It's almost automatic at this point. Got to get base runners. 2-1 the count. Fly ball to center. Cedeno started back, drifting in now, and that's that. The Dodgers in the fourth come up with a run. 2 hits. There was an error by Cabell. Leave 1. We've played 4. Astros 7, and the Dodgers 1. Fifth inning at L.A. Houston leads 7-1. More play-by-play. Here's Bob Uecker.
All right, Al, thank you very much. And Joe Necro will lead it off here in the 5th inning. 7-1 Houston. Necro has sacrificed and tapped to third. As you look around Dodger Stadium, another jammed-up house. Dodgers with 2 in the first inning, aided by 2 Los Angeles Airs. Picked up 2 more in the third on a big 2-run homer by Art Howe. And then run-scoring fly ball by Cruz in the fourth, and Howe again, 2-run single. Bobby Castillo, a strike to Necro, 0-1. Castillo is the 4th Dodger pitcher used today. Goltz worked the first 3, 4 runs, 8 hits, walked a pair. Hit foul by Necro. He fought off a high inside breaking ball, and Joe Necro turning around to catcher Joe Ferguson. Necro looking in the Houston dugout. High inside pitch, and he fouled it. Talked about that earlier. 14 seasons. The home run came off brother Phil. 1976, and he won that game 4-3. The 0-2. Low and away. Ball 1, strike 2. Sutcliffe worked at third today. 3 runs. Gave up a hit, walked a pair. Beck with the third. Got waiting, looking. Bobby Castillo picks up his second strikeout. One away in the Houston fifth inning. And Terry Poole coming on. He reached on an error back in the first inning and scored. The error charged to Davey Lopes. In the second, he tapped to first. In the fourth, he singled on the infield, stole 2 bases, and scored. Inside corner of strike, says Doug Harvey. 7 runs, 10 hits for Houston. A run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. And he missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Poole. Screwball. Lopes backing up 2 steps. The quick throw, and he got him. Nice play by Davey Lopes. Taking a couple of backward steps to flag down that ground ball hit by Poole. 2 up and 2 down brings up Cabell. Cabell has scored twice today. A single, a stolen base, and a run scored back in the first. He struck out in the second, walked and scored in the fourth inning. Dodger pitchers in the fourth issued 4 walks. Two men out. Now you're looking on Joe Ferguson as Castillo shaking off a couple of times. There's a breaking ball. 1 strike to Cabell. Tommy Lasorda down by 6. One more look now at Bobby Castillo. Whip-like motion and a good screwball. That was a breaking ball that time that he turned over on Cabell. Ferguson wants it outside. Fastball just a bit low. 1-1. The Houston dugout. I tell you, after the first 3 games they played here, they were talking about what could they do to win. Leads in every game, only to lose by a run. Each time with a home run. Big Don Leppard, Astros third base coach. Ball 1 and strike 2. They'll be feeling good today. Up by 6 in the 5th. Pitch to Cabell. Hit the air. First base side. Garvey will not have a play. And the count holds at 1-2. Steve Garvey. Played in every game. The Dodgers this year. One-two pitch. Check swing, base hit. Going to be an extra base hit for Cabell on a low screwball into second base. He'll have a double. On a check swing, that ball looped past Garvey, and Cabell's on for the 3rd time today.
Enos Cabell looked like he was about 80 feet from the pin here as he goes down into the sand trap. Makes contact, and everything happening right for Houston as Cabell picks up his 2nd hit of the day. Tough pitch to give up a hit on.
I'll tell you, I was just going to say that, Al. You make a pitch like that, and a hitter reaches down on a check swing and loops one, as Cabell did for a double.
A couple of more like that, and we'll get Davey Moore in here to do the analysis.
I tell you, all he had to do was open the face a little more, and he may have had a triple. Enos Cabell, the runner at second.
Watch the pickoff throw, Cabell.
Rafael Landeskog comes on for the first time today. .250 with a homer and 27 runs batted in. Came on to play for Joe Morgan in the Dodger 4th inning.
A victory for the Astros would certainly make for a whole lot nicer winter, in particular for Landeskog. He was the man the other night, Uke, that bobbled the ground ball by Dusty Baker in the 9th inning to prolong the inning, and then with 2 down, Ron Say, the single to center on Friday to tie the game, and then Ferguson's home run in the 10th won it.
Right. Bill Verdon was talking about just a moment ago when he said he didn't sleep very good after that opening game. 1 strike to Landistoi. Castillo, screwball, 0-2. Al Verdon said before the game, Al, when we were down on the field during batting practice, he said that was a game that really bothered him. The other games, good games, they lost. He said if the ball was hit by Baker a little more sharply, easier hop, nobody on at first, the runner ran by Landistoi, took his eye off momentarily, took a look at the runner, Baker, and bobbled again. 2 strikes. Looped to Hatcher. This time it won't fall for a base hit. The Astros are out here in the 5th inning. In the 5th inning, no runs with a hit and 1 left. At the end of 4 and 1/2 innings of play, the Astros still lead Los Angeles by a score of 7-1. The Dodgers come to bat in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Well, everybody loves the Dodgers. Houston loves them right now, too, because they're leading 7-1.
Tomorrow night, of course, our coverage beginning of the National League Championship Series from Philadelphia. Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell, Don Drysdale will be there. American League getting underway Wednesday. Game 1 in Kansas City at 2:30 Eastern Time. I'll be there with Oriole pitcher Jim Palmer and Billy Martin, manager of the Oakland A's, will be joining us for our coverage of the Yankees Kansas City series.
Well, as the countdown gets closer, Billy Martin gets more nervous.
Season was easy. This is the tough part, right?
Coming to tough stuff right now. That'll be a good time. Darryl Thomas in the Dodger 5th inning against Joe Niekro. Knuckler outside a ball. Vic Davalillo has come to the on-deck circle for the Dodgers. Low, 2-0. Niekro, as you look at Vic Davalillo, did not allow a Dodger runner until a leadoff single by Hatcher in the 3rd. Well, we talked about Manny Mota yesterday. 42 years old. Vic Davalillo today, outside, 3-0. Well, and the Dodger fans again trying to rally. It's Dodger Ball Club. Niekro gave up 2 hits in the 3rd and worked out of it. In the 4th, the Dodgers got him for a run. 3-0, 3-1 now. Good fastball. Baker let it off with a single. Bad hop single off Cabell. Went to second on an error. Throwing error charge to Cabell, and then scored on a base hit by Monday. Darryl Thomas is on. That's the first walk given up by Niekro today, and Vic Davalillo will come on as a pinch hitter for pitcher Bobby Castillo. Davalillo appeared in 5 games for the Dodgers. This is number 6. Only been a bat 4 times with a base hit. One on, nobody out. 7-1 Houston, 5th inning. And the Dodger pitcher in the bullpen, Fernando Valenzuela. Here's Davalillo. Guy's a Manny Mota from the left side, Al. Hits the ball all over the place, all over the ballpark. A slap-type hitter. Every once in a while he can sting you. 1 strike to him, 0-1.
Incredible. 2 men in their 40s. Vic's age is subject to question. Of course, like with everybody else, once they reach the age of 38, 39, everybody starts saying, well, if we don't know his age, he must be maybe late 40s. A lot of exaggeration involved.
Second base, Landistoi, and And upset by Darryl Thomas, and a good play by Thomas to stay out of the double play. He threw a rolling block on Landeskog, and that prevented the throw to first. Vic Davalillo on.
Well, this might have been taught to Darryl Thomas, perhaps by Ray Malavasi of the Rams. It's that type of a block. Thomas knows it's the only way he can break up the potential double play. As he goes rolling into Landeskog, settling for the 1 out.
Well, you've seen it happen many times when an infielder thinks the runner is going to just let you tag him and forget about it. Not that time.
Not in October.
No, sir. Here's Davy Lopes. Knuckleball hit in the air to short center. Cedeno broke back, came on to make the play for the second out. 2 away for Jay Johnstone. This telecast presented by authority of Major League Baseball and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Jay Johnstone 0 for 2. Bounce to second and foul to third. 2 outs. Dodger 5th. Niekro has only given up 4 base hits. Knuckler hit in the air to right field, but he hooked it foul. No good! 1 strike to Johnstone. The Astros have led from the first inning. 2 Dodger errors led to a couple of runs. 2 more in the third, the big home run by Art Howe, and 3 more in the fourth. Davalillo, the runner at first. Knuckler in a good one. 0-2 on Johnstone. I want to tell you, folks, Ashby's done a whale of a job today. He really has.
And so has Niekro. He's the type of man, as you look at Ashby. Niekro, the kind of man you want out there. Veteran. Toughest of all situations.
In the air and out of play.
The Houston pitching staff, well, they really picked up, of course, the J.R. Richards stroke in late July after he had performed so well. He was the starting pitcher in the All-Star game, and everybody thought, well, that was going to do the Astros in, but Vern Rule came on. Niekro has pitched brilliantly down the stretch. Kenny Force has given him some good outings. Bullpen's done a fine job overall. Mel Wright, the pitching coach, and Burton have maneuvered very well.
Ashby giving chase, but this ball is out of play. Still 0-2 on Johnstone. You know, Al, before the game, talking to both ball clubs, Dodgers and the Houston club, about the performance yesterday by Vern Rule, the fact that he pitched with those 2 stitches in the index finger. They said it was really amazing, really a gutty performance, and he finally tore it, throwing a high fastball. We talked about it. I talked that he might do it on a breaking ball, but he did it on a fastball.
3rd inning.
Vern Rule in the middle. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Big strikeout again for Niekro. That's number 4, and the Dodgers are out in the 5th inning. They fail to score at the end of 5. It's 7-1 Houston. We'll be back with more baseball after this word from our local stations.
Have a look at Joe Niekro as he gets the strikeout that ends the bottom of the 5th inning. Houston has never won in their 19-year existence. Well, I tell you, they can feel it. That ended the 5th as Johnstone struck out. And we go to the 6th with the Astros still ahead, 7-1.
There's Valenzuela coming on to work for the Dodgers, making his 10th appearance. A save, 1-2 loss, none. Worked 2 scoreless innings on Saturday. Tenth game, as we said, 15 2/3 innings. 2 runs, none earned. Off this 19-year-old left-hander, he's given up 7 hits and struck out 15. Got an excellent screwball. He'll face Cruz to lead it off. Cruz today, a fielder's choice, a base hit, and a run-scoring fly ball. There's a drive hit to deep right. It's got a chance. It's hooking, foul, and out of here. Cruz was robbed of an extra base hit on an outstanding play by Rick Monday back in the 4th inning. It led to a Houston run, but prevented a couple of more from scoring. There's the screwball down low. It's 1-1. Fernando Valenzuela pitched at San Antonio this year in 27 games. Cruz fouls. Ball 1, strike 2. Valenzuela, 20 years old on November 1st. This guy's a cool customer. Low fastball, 2-2. We talked about him yesterday coming into a pressure-packed ball game, and no problem. Matter of fact, he was blowing bubbles yesterday. The 2-2 pitch. Got him looking. Outside corner. Valenzuela picks up his 16th strikeout since joining Los Angeles. Cesar Cedeno. Been up 3 times. Knocked in a run with a ground ball back in the 1st inning. Singled and scored in the 3rd. Walked in the 4th. The Dodgers trail by 6 at 7-1. In the air to center. Monday coming on, and he's got it for the 2nd out. 2 away for Art Howe. He's been the hitting hero for Houston today. 3 for 3 and 4 runs batted in. He made it a 4-0 game in the 3rd when he homered off Goltz. He got a 3-2 breaking ball and hit it out of here in left center field. Houston with 3 more in the 4th inning. The only Dodger run in the 4th, a run-scoring single by Rick Monday. 2 outs. Valenzuela, a screwball. Did he go around too far? He did, says Nick Palazzi. And the baseball to be examined now by the home plate umpire, Doug Harvey. 1 strike to Howe. The Dodger outfield, as they normally do for Howe, swung slightly around toward the right side. Right fielder Johnstone bunching on Monday in center, and Dusty Baker playing Howe as a dead pull hitter in left. There's a big gap in left center. Diving stab. Hatcher at 3rd and the Houston 6th inning. Fine play by Mickey Hatcher. So an easy inning. 3 up, 3 down, 6. We've completed 5.5 innings now from Dodger Stadium. 7-1 Houston. Well, there are banners all over Dodger Stadium. That's one of them. Trying to rally the Dodgers. Davey Lopes. 7-1 Houston. 6th inning getting late. Dusty Baker, who has one of the 4 base hits given up by Niekro, leads it off here in the 6th inning. Baker with a strikeout and an infield single. And he has scored the only Dodger run. When Baker reached back in the 5th inning, he hit a ground ball that took a bad hop for Cabell at 3rd. Knuckleball hit in the air and it's playable. In the left center field, Cedeno coming on, but it's going to be Cruz. 1 down. First ball hitting Dusty Baker. Cruz, who had problems earlier with the fans out in the left field bleacher area. Objects being thrown. The game was stopped by the home plate umpire, Doug Harvey. Steve Garvey now 0 for 2.
If Houston holds on to win, it'll probably be Ken Force pitching tomorrow night for the Astros. Steve Carlton for the Phillies. Game 1, National League tomorrow, 8 o'clock on ABC. Game 1 American, Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. on ABC.
Low to Garvey, a ball. The Dodger dugout, they haven't had much to holler about today. This guy right here has him stopped, low and away. 2-0 to Garvey. 2 knuckleballs, and let's see if Niekro comes with a fastball now or a slider. Joe Niekro, 14th year in the major leagues. After his 20th win of the year, 2-0 to Garvey. Inside corner, he's got a strike.
It's interesting, Uke. It took Joe a long time to develop into a good pitcher. His first real good season would have been 1977 with Houston when he was 13-8. At age 32, last year he broke the 20 victory circle for the first time.
Garvey sharply to left, but foul. 2-2.
If he can win today, and again we reiterate that these stats do count in the regular season figures, even though it's an extra game. Niekro would join Carlton as the only 20-game winners in the National League. Steve won 24. American, of course, you had Stone, John, Norris, Dennis Leonard, Scott McGregor, all 20 or more.
And a foul tip, and Ashby can't hang on. The Niekro knuckleball. You know, Al, I remember Joe Niekro when he pitched with the Cubs, still playing at that time. He was discouraged at that time from throwing a knuckleball. Fastball, slider, and a curve at that time. He messed around with the knuckleball. He used to use it as a changeup. If he had a lead in the ball game, he'd start throwing it. But they tried to discourage him from throwing it.
He was young then.
Yes, sir.
Back in 67, 8, 9.
Garvey in the air, left center. Cedeno coming on. And he's got it 2 down. Oh, but what a turnaround for a pitcher like Niekro. A pitch that somebody tries to tell you to put away because his brother had such great success with it. Phil was a knuckleball pitcher in the Braves organization when I was playing in the minor leagues. He was knuckleball from day one. And his brother Joe, of course, wanting the same type success, but he had a lot better velocity, a lot better breaking stuff. Phil, of course, an outstanding pitcher with the Braves, still going strong. 2 men out. Dodgers 6th inning, and here's Monday, who has knocked in the only Los Angeles run with a single back in the 4th inning. Cabell up close at 3rd. The Houston outfield around toward the right side. There you see Cabell playing up close at 3rd. Niekro working from the stretch, and he missed inside with a knuckleball. Joe Niekro working from the stretch that time to Monday. And he's going to go back to the stretch. Or is he? No. Let's see if he goes from the windup here. He will. 1 ball, no strikes. Inside with a slider. 2-0 now.
Alan Roth just reminded me an interesting point. Last year, National League All-Star team, Niekro was named to the team. Tommy Lasorda was the manager because the Dodgers had won in 78. Niekro was rested. He had a great first half, and he was the only pitcher Lasorda didn't go to in the 79 All-Star game.
2-0 to Monday, 3-0 now. 2 men out. You know, it's interesting, Al. Niekro's last win against the Dodgers, September 29th of 1979, 3-1 now to Monday. That was his final game of the year, and he beat the Dodgers here at Dodger Stadium 3-2. Lifetime 7-9 against the Dodgers, 0-1 in 80, 3-1 to Monday, and he walked him. That is only the second walk given up by Niekro. He has struck out 4. The Dodgers with 1 on, 2 men out for Joe Ferguson. Niekro's walks per 9 innings, 2.7. That is really good for a pitcher of Niekro's type. A knuckleballer is what I'm trying to say. Joe Ferguson, 2 down, 1 on. There's There's the knuckleball for a strike. Ferguson taking all the way that time. Talking about taking, Joe took a strike. Call third strike back in the fourth inning. 0 for 2. Outside, 1-1. 7-1 Houston. Dodgers 6. Joe Ferguson hit well since the All-Star break. 1-1. Low and away. 2 balls and a strikeout. Necro's 0-1 record this year against the Dodgers. He had a no-decision start at Houston. That was his first game of the year. And then his loss, 4-2 to Royce here at Dodger Stadium. That was his third start back on April 20th. Not faced the Dodgers since that time. Low and away. 3-1 down. And Alan Ashby wants to talk things over with Joe Necro. Art Howe, the Houston first baseman, heading toward the mound, and Bill Verdon. Talking to some of the Houston players prior to this series, talking about people, fans, writers. All you got to do is win one game. Oh, yeah? Easy said. 3-1. Full count now, 3-2. Traveling time for Monday at first. 2 men out. I would think in this situation, Al, you might see Necro go with a fastball or a slider instead of a knuckleball. Got the 6-run cushion. Let's see. Slider. Knocked down by Landis-Stoy. Runners hold at first and second. 2 on, 2 out. And Mickey Hatcher, the third baseman, coming on, and Mel Wright, the Houston pitching coach, out to the mound for a couple of words with Necro.
No matter what happens from here on out with Necro, he has put Bill Verdon in a very good position, comparatively speaking, in that Bill has 3 good short men, even though 2 of them did not have that much success yesterday. But over the year, Joe Sambito and Frank LaCourte, who both worked yesterday. As you look at the Dodger bullpen, Steve Howe will get active. That's the Houston bullpen, rather, and Dave Smith has gone down there to become active. Smith has had a back problem, a slight back problem the past couple of days, but talking with Verdon before the game, he said he could go to Smith. So he's got his 3 shortmen available. Lasorda has already used 5 pitchers. They're down to the 7th spot in the batting order. He only has 1 more man who would be a true relief pitcher he can really count on. That would be Steve Howe. I don't think he wants to go to Stanhouse. So if he has to go to Howe and then somebody else, we might see, who knows, maybe even Jerry Royce, who pitched 2 days ago.
Yes, sir. Well, again, these fans at Dodger Stadium rising. 2 men out, 2 on. 7-1. Dodgers trail. Knuckleball miss. 1 ball and no strikes. The Dodgers have had runners against Necro in each of the last 4 innings. Scoring once. Hatcher, a strike. 1-1 now. That slider that Necro threw to Ferguson was upstairs. Joe punched it over the middle. Knocked down by Landis-Stoy. There is activity now in the Dodger bullpen. And to throw to second base. Monday back in time. Steve Howe, the Dodger left-hander. Ball 1, strike 1 to Hatcher. The totals on Howe for the year. Necro ready. 1-1. Knuckleball. 1-2 now. Necro, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Was the first base runner against Necro today. He singled to lead off in the 3rd. The 1-2 pitch. And the ball gets by Ashby, and Hatcher's going to reach, and the bases are loaded. And we'll see how they scored. A very, very tough pitch for Ashby to handle. Way down low and away. Hatcher missed it. it's scored a pass ball.
Watch again now. This could be the biggest break for the Dodgers as the knuckleball drifts off the glove. Hatcher thought he was gone. Then he turns back, and all of a sudden he has first base. So what happens subsequently will determine whether this is of importance or not. And if the Dodgers can pick up some runs, there's your key play of the game, perhaps.
Well, that's what we had talked about earlier, Al. The heat on Ashby with the knuckleball. Now runners in scoring positions at second and third. 2 outs. And again, does he stay with Negro's number 1, the knuckleball? Ashby has done a whale of a job today. He'll face Darryl Thomas for the bases loaded. The Dodgers, a 2-out threat here in the 6th inning. They're down by 6. Darryl Thomas, a single and a walk. Knuckler, strike on the outside corner. Got to stay with it. There you see it. Houston has out-hit the Dodgers 11-5, leading 7-1. Niekro, 1 strike. Low with a knuckleball. 1-1.
The scoring, by the way, on the Hatcher play is a pass ball charged to Ashby.
Bill Burden, Joe Niekro, and Darryl Thomas now out of the box momentarily. Fans again standing here at Dodger Stadium. Ashby, the sign. 1-1. Knuckleball low and inside. 2-1. Tommy Lasorda. The Dodgers have trailed from the opening inning. Time again called. The runner at third is Rick Monday. Ferguson at second. And Mickey Hatcher, as Al said, reached on what might be one of the key plays in this series. The strikeout and the pass ball charge to Ashby. 2-1. The Houston dugout. Burden, Melwright. Thomas waits. 2-1. Out of play. And the count's even 2-2. A good fastball that time from Niekro. .295 you see Thomas from the left side, and 123 right-handed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded. Niekro. Knuckler hit in the air to center. Cedeno's there, and the inning is over. So Joe Niekro works out of it with the bases loaded, and the Dodgers fail to score. We've completed 6 full innings now from Dodger Stadium. The Astros lead by a score of 7-1.
7-1, the Astros leading it, going to the top of the 7th. A reminder, starting tomorrow and continuing Wednesday and Thursday on ABC's World News Tonight, a special assignment, Future Wars. Fighting in the electronic battlefield. ABC News examines technological breakthroughs, sophisticated weapons that will affect all of our futures and all of the security of the country. Plus, all the news of the day on ABC's World News Tonight, starting tomorrow. Special assignment.
So the Houston Astros, as we go to the 7th inning, leading by a score of 7-1. Niekro again working out of a jam. In the Dodgers 6th inning, Alan Ashby, the catcher, all set to lead it off here in the top half of the 7th. And back to call the action for you once again. Here's Al Michaels.
All right, Uke, as Ashby stands in, 1 for 2 plus a walk. Valenzuela, the 5th Dodger pitcher, throws a curve, hit in the air to left field. Baker going back and still drifting and makes the catch on the warning track. Dusty had a tough time reading it. Ball hit harder than he initially thought, but back to make the play. 1 gone. Dusty Baker going back and knows the territory, fortunately, knowing how far he was from the wall, and able to make the play. So 1 down as Craig Reynolds, 2 for 3, gets ready to stand in. Valenzuela has retired the 4 men he has faced, struck out 1. The 19-year-old left-hander to the plate. Missing outside. Ball 1. 1-0. The Astros picked up 2 runs in the first, 2 more in the third, 3 in the fourth. The Dodger run came in the fourth. Houston has out-hit Los Angeles 11-5. Wrapped into left center field for a base hit. So that's 3 hits today for Craig Reynolds and a dozen for Houston collectively. Joe Niekro, the pitcher, will be coming up. He's 0 for 2 plus a sacrifice. Mentioned at the outset today, this is the first time that there has been a divisional playoff game in the National League. When it was one league and the champ would go on to the World Series, there were 4 playoffs. And interestingly enough, the Dodgers involved in all of them and losers in 3 of those. They lost to St. Louis in '46. Of course, Bobby Thompson, the home run in 1951, that was the shot heard round the world until Mike Eruzione took on the Soviets at Lake Placid.
That's right.
In '59, the Dodgers beat Milwaukee 2 straight, lost to the Giants in '62. Niekro bunting. Valenzuela will make the play. Over to Lopes for the out. And Reynolds advances to second. So the Dodgers have won only 1 of the 4 playoffs. And you talk about frustration. In '51, of course, you've got Thompson hitting the homer. The Dodgers had led that game 4-1 going into the 9th inning. '59, they beat Milwaukee. It was a best 2 out of 3, and the Dodgers won the first 2. In the second game that year, they were trailing 5-2 going to the 9th. Norm Larker, a double off the screen, was the key blow, and they win in 12. Then in '62, when it's the Dodgers and the Giants, the Dodgers lead 4-2 going to the 9th. Stan Williams walks in what turns out to be the winning run, and the Giants get 4 and win the pennant 6-4.
Yep.
Terry Poole, 1 for 4. Takes low, ball 1.
Remember that '59 playoff, Al, between the Dodgers and the Braves? I think that was a playoff that enabled Hank Aaron, with the playoffs, to tie Ernie Banks for the home run title that year.
That's right, because those games, like this one, counting in the regular season stats, the League Championship Series stats do not. 2-0 the count. 7-1 Astros with 2 down in the top of the 7th inning, and Reynolds at second base.
Al, as he did in yesterday's game, Fernando Valenzuela. Not too impressed by the goings-on here at Dodger Stadium. Tommy Lasorda a little more concerned. 19-year-old youngster. That's Enos Cabell.
Foul back, 3-1. It's a nice luxury to have. It's the 3rd time today an Astro has swung at a 3-0 pitch. You can afford to do that with a lead. Dodgers, meanwhile, as you could see in the last couple of innings, everybody going up there taking that first pitch and certainly taking any 2-0 pitch.
You know, when you talk about this Houston Astro club, Al, as you look in their dugout, normally throughout the course of a season they would be looking for bases on balls, running, hit and run, stealing. But as you said, in this situation, a luxury 7-1 lead, 3-0 pitches, let them rip.
Here's the 3-1. A screwball fouled back, and the count is full. 3-2.
I wouldn't think Burden would give guys the green light 3-0 too many times throughout the course of a season, unless you were talking about the late innings with a runner at third, runner at second, in a tie game, where you might give that guy the green light and let him rip. Then again against Valenzuela, 3-0, a left-handed pitcher against left-handed batting Terry Poole. He's coming with a fastball. Why not?
Fouled away off to the right. And the count remains 3-2. The crowd today, 51,127. So the Dodgers for the season close to 3.25 million. Second time they've gone over 3 million in the last 3 years. Total attendance in the bigs this year over 43 million, second highest in history. And National League attendance over 21 million. That's a new National League record. Three-two pitch is hit in the air to center field. Monday, after staggering initially, makes the catch, and the Astros are down in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1 through 6.5 at L.A. It's still the Astros 7 and the Dodgers 1.
Fernando Valenzuela, very much impressed by these pressure-packed games here at Dodger Stadium.
Tony, we can
can relax like that in games such as we have had here in this series yesterday.
There's
Dodgers.
Jack Percotti. He's going to pinch hit here.
I'll say, Al bringing on a pinch hitter, the Dodgers. Valenzuela has been very, very impressive. Pitching at San Antonio this year, starting the year in the minor leagues, and as Al talked about yesterday, ending up the season in the biggest series of the year, pressure packed, been right on it.
Jack Percotti came up when the rosters were expanded on the 1st of September. He's 4 for 15. He's been filling in over the past week, especially in the Giants series, just prior to the Dodgers coming home against Houston, for Davey Lopes when Lopes had to sit down for a couple of games. And he pitches for Valenzuela here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lopes and John Stone to follow. Houston leading 7-1 as the Astros try to wrap up their first ever divisional title. Percotti hit .326 at Albuquerque in AAA this year. Line drive type hitter. A strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Howe still throwing in the bullpen, so it'll be Steve for the Dodgers when the Astros hit in the 8th inning. 1-1 the count. There's Howe. Joe Niekro. He was with a team that won a divisional title, the Detroit Tigers, back in '72. Little sliver down to third. Cabell misplays it, but recovers in time to get him. Enos was in very shallow, in on the grass, so he had time to recover and nail him for the out. Enos wants to get back to that AstroTurf.
That's right. Ball on the grass. Val said he's playing up. The ball is not hit that sharply. Kind of a slicing type swing by Percotti. Ball took that funny little hop on Cabell, and watch him fire. Not taking any chances this time. Threw him out by about 5 steps.
Here is Davey Lopes, who is 0 for 3 today. 0-1 the count.
Al, as Niekro said before the start of today's game, he said later in a ball game, he said more often than not he will go to a fastball and a slider to start hitters off, which is what he has done to Percotti and then on Lopes, and coming back with a knuckleball as he did right there. And of course having the 6-run cushion now, 7-1.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Back to Niekro. 2 down. So Joe keeps rolling along. I tell you, it would look like Niekro might have been finished around the mid-70s. He was sent back to the minors after he had experience with the Cubs in San Diego in '69 and Detroit. Then he went to the Braves, and they sent him down. They sent him back down in '75, and then Houston purchased him at the start of the 1975 season. When you buy a player, it means normally that not too many folks think he can still do the job.
Right.
John Stone takes a strike. 0-1. Nice play by Niekro. Halfway to first, and the flip to Howe, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. So the Dodgers 6 outs away from elimination. We've played 7. Astros ahead 7-1, and we'll be back at Dodger Stadium after this word from our local stations. Houston ahead 7-1. The Astros have led all the way. Out hit the Dodgers 12-5 as we go to the 8th inning. Remember tonight on That's Incredible, 8 Eastern time, meet a man who's been dead, they tell us, for 52 years, and visit a hotel that has more ghosts than guests. And then ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, Soldier Field in Chicago. Doug Williams leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against Walter Payton and the Chicago Bears. On the West Coast, That's Incredible follows Monday Night Football. What a week for sports on ABC. Playoffs beginning tomorrow. There is the new Dodger pitcher, Steve Howe. 6-man used by Tommy Lasorda today. And Jack Percotti, who hit for Valenzuela, stays in the game, hits 9th, plays second. Davey Lopes comes out. Howe hits in Lopes' spot. Al Michaels and Bob Uecker in Los Angeles as we go to the 8th inning in the Western Division tiebreaker. It's been all Houston so far. Enos Cabell, 2 for 3 plus a walk. 1-0.
And if the Dodgers should lose this game, Al, Houston winning, really vindication for Cabell, Landeskog. We talked earlier about that. Big error by Landeskog in game 1. Yesterday, Cabell with a ball that was hit by Garvey, and instead of charging, indecision, he backpedaled on the ball and ate him up for an error, and then Say hit the home run to win it. Been a tremendous series, it really has. The Dodger dugout trailing by 6.
Lasorda and Red Adams, the pitching coach. Tommy trying to figure out a way to pull another one out of the hat. 2-1 for the Astros. 19th year of existence. Well, if they win, you've got some champagne, about 1/10 of which will be consumed. The rest sprayed around. Then a long flight to Philadelphia. They'll be checking into the hotel in Philly, I would guess around 5 a.m. Eastern time. 2-1 pitch is bounced to third. Hatcher picks it up. Throw. Get him. One third baseman throwing out the other, as Cabell is gone for the first out in the 8th.
Tough in-between hop for Hatcher, Al, knocking that ball down and then recovering in time to throw out Cabell by about a half a step. Talking with Garvey before the game, Al, asking about the Dodger infield. They used to have a crushed brick surface here, very finely ground crushed brick. He said it was a lot worse than it is now. You mentioned earlier, I think, that this has been resurfaced, the Dodger infield, the new infield. There's Garvey at first. Said it's a lot better now than it was in previous years, but if you watch these ball games, every once in a while, some of the hops that they get, it doesn't seem that good.
Landeskog looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. The Dodgers, to an extent, should have the advantage there anyway. They play on it all the time. The Astros, of course, play on an artificial surface at home. Loop foul. 0-2.
Talking about Cabell earlier, Al, the fact that they play on the artificial surface in Houston, hardly ever a bad hop on that stuff. They have the sliding pit areas around the bag or maybe the lip of the AstroTurf where every once in a while a ball may hit and take a bad hop on you, but other than that, like playing on a playground on an asphalt surface.
1-2 the count. Cruz on deck. The Dodgers, when they hit in the 8th, have Baker, Garvey, and Monday. 1-2 pitch. Grounded down to Perconti at second, and the rookie throws him out. 2 down now in the 8th inning. And we'll take a look at Jose Cruz. So the Astros, who have lost 6 in a row here at Dodger Stadium, may win the most important of the 7. Dodgers finishing the season series, the regularly scheduled season series yesterday, having won 10 out of 18. Strike, 0-1. Of course, all the Astros, the quotes will be very predictable. Oh, the long flight to Philadelphia won't bother us tomorrow night. We'll be sky high anyway. But physiologically, it's going to make a difference. 0-2. Everybody will get to bed in Philly, whether it be the Dodgers or the Astros. 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Get up around noon. Head out to the vet. It's around 5 o'clock. Take some BP. 0-2 pitches outside. 1-2.
They may want to take it when they get there.
Yeah.
Get it done with. There's Art Howe. 4 RBIs today.
Two and 2 the count.
Al, we were talking last night after the ball game about the pressure that goes into the playoff games. You know, once you get in the series, you're going to get a winner or a loser share. You're there. But to get there first, the playoffs, that's where all the heat is.
Popped up and playable back of third for Mickey Hatcher. 3 up and 3 down. Howe doing the job here in the 8th inning. And so we've gone 7.5 at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Houston leading the Dodgers 7-1. Bottom of the 8th inning at Dodger Stadium. In the Western Division playoff, Houston leading 7-1. Baker, Garvey, and Monday coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning. The crowd by their response has really not given up hope even through the middle innings with the Dodgers trailing by plenty. Still trying to become the 10th man they've been given credit for over the first 3 games in this series. But a long hill to climb now as Baker comes up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Dusty is 1 for 3.
And the Dodger crowd again rising. Prior to the game on Friday night, Al, quite a tribute to this Dodger team. Down by 3 games before they ever took the field here. The fans were standing for a couple of hours prior to the start of the game. Dodger players from the scene here thought they had won it. What a great series.
So here we go, the bottom of the 8th inning. Niekro's pitch to Baker, in there for a strike, 0-1. Dodgers with 5 hits today, all singles. Scoreboard has it on check swing and a ball, 1-1.
Al, you know, going back to the theory about Niekro starting hitters off with a fastball or a slider, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Dodgers down 7-1, have to take a pitch. More often than not, he's laying them right in there, getting ahead, and then coming with the knuckleball.
And down goes Dusty. It was strike 2. He foul tipped the second pitch, and down he goes on 3 here. So that's 6 now for Niekro. 6 strikeouts. He's retired 5 in a row. The Dodgers had a chance in the 6th inning. It was their last opportunity, loading the bases, but Thomas fly to center.
Al, we have defensive changes now for Houston. Art Howe is now playing at third base, and Bergman has come on to play at first for the Astros.
Cabell coming out of the game. Howe can't handle this one, but Reynolds does. Nice short hop. Throw him out. So 2 down. Craig Reynolds has had a good day. Astros shortstop, 3 for 4 at the plate.
A good play by Reynolds. That high hopper hit over Howe's head. Look at Reynolds way back in the hole, and then guns a throw to get Garvey at first for the second out. Well, I just got through talking about the Dodgers trailing 7-1, maybe taking a pitch from Niekro. Garvey hit the first one, a fastball.
Rick Monday 1 for 2 plus a walk. So the Astros 4 outs away now. 0-1. 2 down, bases empty, bottom of the 8th. The Astros 2 in the first, 2 in the third as you look at Ferguson on deck. 3 in the 4th for Houston. The only Dodger run in the 4th inning, and it was Monday who drove it in with a single to center. Niekro's strike 1 offering, low and inside, 1-1. Lasorda and Garvey. 1-1 pitch is fouled away, and the count is 1-2. If Houston goes on to meet Philadelphia, in the 12 games between those 2 teams this season, the Phillies won 9. Of course, the Phillies, veterans of the playoffs, so they haven't won. They were there in 76, 77, and 78. Houston, of course, has never been there. Popped up. Ashby coming back, and with room. And it's 3 up and 3 down. And Niekro, if anything, is getting stronger. He has set down 8 in a row. The last Dodger hit was a single by Ferguson in the 6th inning. So a frustrating afternoon for the Los Angeles Dodgers as we have played 8. And the Astros are on top 7-1. So we go to the 9th inning. The Astros on top 7-1. A look at the new Diamond Vision board at Dodger Stadium. The crowd very quiet as we go to the 9th. Cedeno to lead things off. Then Howe and Ashby. Fly ball to right field. John Stone. One guy. Howe is retired. The 4 men he has faced in relief. When the Dodgers come up now in the bottom of the 9th inning, due up are Ferguson, Hatcher, and Thomas. Bill Burton, he's been to the playoffs before. 1972, he managed the Pirates against Cincinnati. That series went 5, and Bill's team had the lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 5 when Johnny Bench homered. And a wild pitch by Bob Moose subsequently brought in George Foster to give the Reds the pennant. Art Howe, big day, 3 hits. A drive to deep left field, but Dusty Baker has room and makes the catch. 2-away now in the 9th inning. And the catcher, Alan Ashby, coming up. Ashby 1 for 3 plus a walk. Houston in 1980, it would be the 3rd serious run they have made for a title. As Ashby lines one to left field, right at Baker for the out. So Howe has no trouble dispensing with Houston in the 9th inning, but the Dodgers are still trailing by 6. As we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Joe Negro working on L.A. with Houston ahead, 7-1. Back after this message and a word from our local stations. Dodger Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Al Michaels and Bob Uecker with you. It's 7-1 Astros. So the Dodgers 3 outs away from elimination. Jerry Royce in your picture there, hand on hip. Youngster Bobby Mitchell, number 17. Here comes Joe Ferguson, striding to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning. Hatcher and Thomas due to follow. But Gary Thomason has come out on deck. There he is to bat for Hatcher. Joe Ferguson, 1 for 3. Infield single in the 6th. Joe Negro has gone all the way, seeking his 20th win and his biggest. 1-0. Two and 0 the count on Ferguson. In there, and the count 2-1 now. Joe Negro, counting that strikeout to Hatcher, though he did reach on a pass ball, but counting that has set down 8 straight. Fergie pops it up. Foul ground and playable for Art Howe. 1 away. Negro making it look easy. The Dodgers have not hit a ball out of the infield since the 6th inning. Joe has given up 5 hits, all singles. The Dodgers threatened in the 3rd inning at 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Couldn't score. Threatened in the 6th inning, had the bases loaded, 2 out. Couldn't score. Their only run came in the 4th when Monday singled in Baker. The big man offensively for the Astros today has been Art Howe with 3 hits and 4 runs batted in. Gary Thomason, the pinch hitter, takes outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Even now, 1-1. Art Howe. Again, we refer to him as steady and solid and responding today. Now playing 3rd, started the game at 1st. You can move him around. 1-1 pitch to Thomason. Ground ball to the right side. Landis-Stoy throws to 1st and gets him. Raphael taking his time, as was the case the other night when it proved to be very costly on a different type of ground ball. 2 down. And Darryl Thomas, the batter. That's Deacon Jones. Mel Wright is looking down toward the Houston bullpen. You know what they're worried about, I have a feeling, is getting off the field, figuring the crowd might surge out onto the field, and that's exactly what they're talking about. Darryl Thomas is going to be the batter. Verdon is coming out. You see, what he wants here is to bring the fellas in from the bullpen. Number one. Going to bring, that's Dave Smith, and also the relief pitcher, Joe Sambito. They'll bring in all of the fellas from the bullpen. You know, it's a sorry state and an exalted moment. A moment you should really savor. You even have to think about things like this, but Verdon is doing the prudent thing, unfortunately. I say unfortunately in the context of what we've been reduced to in crowd scenes over the past few years. So the Astros on the verge of clinching their first ever title, and a prime concern to them right now is getting off the field unscathed. 2 out, bases empty in the bottom of the 9th inning, 7-1 Houston. Thomas looks at a strike. The Astros, born in 1962, went through some frustrating and some very dismal years. In the race in 72 and faded. In the race last year and faded. And now on the threshold as Thomas takes inside. 1-1 the count. World News tonight, of course, will not be seen tonight except on the West Coast as we come down to the conclusion of this one. The 1-1 pitch to Thomas is looped to shallow left field. Cruz coming in, but has to play it on a hop, and so the Dodgers are still breathing. Darryl Thomas with a single, and now Jack Perconti, who stayed in the game after pinch hitting in the 7th inning, is the batter. Again, some garbage being hurled at the players. Doug Harvey was out there checking with the outfielders. You could see Doug gesturing to the outfielders, is everything all right? And they said fine. Bill Verdon doing some repositioning now as Perconti stands in. 2 down. Now time called, no pitch. Doug Harvey again pointing toward the outfield. We've got streamers out there. Tennis balls being thrown out onto the field. And they'll do some groundskeeping work. And again, the announcement from John Ramsey, the PA announcer. The Astros are on top, leading it 7-1 with 2 out in the 9th inning. So the Dodgers, backs to the wall. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday respond. Give that man a lot of credit. Harvey has kept things in order today. At one point, if you weren't with us, pulling the Astros off the field in the 4th inning. Never letting it get out of hand. All right, Perconti at the plate. Taking outside, ball 1. If Perconti keeps it going, they've got Pete Guerrero out on deck to bat for Steve Howe. The 1-0 to Perconti in there. 1-1 the count. Necro trying to become the only National League pitcher to do that. Tommy John was the only pitcher in the American League to win 20 the last 2 years. The 1-1 pitch, a bouncing ball to the right side. Bergman has it, steps on first, and the Astros have won the National League West. Bill Verdon finally, after 4 days, a smile creasing his face. And the celebration, ironically enough, on the road in the Dodger Stadium infield as the Houston Astros have won it. The Los Angeles Dodgers, what a battle they gave it. There's the hobbled Ron Cey heading back toward the clubhouse. The exultant Astros going on to Philadelphia. So the Houston Astros, 19 years, so many frustrating years, and here they come down the runway. You just saw Art Howe go down there, the big man today. A home run, 2 singles, 4 runs batted in. The stars of the game for the Astros, Howe and, of course, Joe Niekro, who turns in a masterful performance as the Astros, with a dozen hits, beat the Dodgers in the tiebreaker, 7-1. So here come the Astros, who will do some celebrating, make a very joyous ride to the airport, take a charter to Philadelphia, check in the wee hours, and play tomorrow night in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Bob Uecker is down in the Astro dressing room as they file in. A lot of these fellas, of course, have not been through a scene like this. There are some veterans like Niekro, who played on a division-winning team with Detroit. There's Howe, who came over from Pittsburgh, and of course on the other side you've got Tommy Lasorda, who's tasted the bitter and the sweet as the Dodgers remain in the dugout. I look down and it's a whole other story there. A lot of joy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on that side of the field, but a different story. And the fans, many of whom have remained, as you can see, are chanting, and they'd like the Dodgers to come back out to thank them.
Get somebody.
They want a curtain call. But the Dodgers, many of whom are just seated in the dugout, the Astros have filed back to the clubhouse, and Bob Uecker is down there right now. Let's go to him.
Al, as of right now, we haven't had a chance to get anybody. This Houston Ball Club being swarmed on as they come through the tunnel area here. We're trying to get Joe Niekro, of course, who did such an outstanding job today, and Art Howe, the unassuming guy with the 4 big RBIs today. Bedlam here, as you can well understand, in the Houston clubhouse, as Al told you, 19 years. It's been a long time, since way back in 1962, and the first for the Houston Astros. As we've told you throughout this series, a tough battle, and they have finally hung on the winner. Mel Wright, come on up here. Let me get Mel Wright up here. I'll get Mel Wright up here to start things out. Mel, no talking about the big win today, a big victory, but an outstanding performance by Joe Niekro.
Yes, he did an outstanding job. He was keyed up, but we kept him keyed down just enough that he did a heck of a job.
Mel, I want to ask you, Joe talked about this earlier before the game today, that later in the ball game he goes to a fastball and slider to start hitters off, and then comes back with a knuckleball, and evidently that's been working well for him.
Well, Joe has a tendency sometimes to overthrow his pitches, his fastball and stuff. And once he wears the edge off and gets a little bit, well, I say keyed down and a little bit tired, then he can throw all of it pretty well, and that's what he's been trying to do.
Mel, you've been around here a long time. I know you're very, very satisfied.
Oh, I'm as happy as I can be. This is what we fought for. Thank you.
All right, we'll try to get Joe Niekro. He's being swarmed on over here by his fellow teammates, Joe Niekro, Vern Rule. I got to get him over here. Looking for Joe Niekro. This place is jammed up, Al. I'm just not able to do anything down here. It's jammed up downstairs. Niekro is being swarmed on behind us over here, along with Art Howe, as we said, had such an outstanding year. The last play in the game, the bouncer hit to first base, and the Houston Astros have wrapped up the Western Division Championship. Still trying to get Joe Niekro. We can't find manager Bill Verdon. Bedlam is broken loose here, of course, as you can well understand. And until we can get Joe Niekro and one of these other guys down here, let's go back upstairs to Al Michaels.
Well, I suppose as we wait for Niekro and the gang, a little bit of celebration inexperience showing. The fellows who've been there before, like the Reggie Jacksons and the Mike Schmidts, they know where the camera is, and they know we want to talk to them after they win. They've been there before. But the Astros enjoying their own celebration right now. And since we are running out of time, we will not be returning to the Astro dressing room, but we will see Houston, of course, on the field again tomorrow against Philadelphia in the first game of the National League Championship Series. So that's the story. Houston wins the tiebreaker 7-1. Al Michaels saying so long for Bob Uecker. Our thanks to Alan Roth and George Hill. A great job in the booth. Be sure to tune in tonight for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Chicago Bears from Soldier Field in Chicago, live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arley.
The knock run